When I first got elected, I think my district was 87% white.
Wow.
I'd never experienced a single tone of racism running as a Republican from Republicans.
Yeah.
The racism that I felt came from the left.
Yeah.
It was this mentality of we own you, we own your struggle, we own your journey. So, when I was living in poverty, they didn't want to take ownership of the economic conditions I was living in. The government actively tried to keep me in poverty. And when I was able to overcome, it almost became an assumption that I should be a Democrat no matter what.
Yeah.
And so the most racism I've ever experienced is from white liberals, in the state legislature. I've experienced it firsthand. And, when I got to the legislature, I knew the image of me being the first black Republican in 50 years elected to the Ohio House. And I didn't want to be a show pony.
Yeah.
I wanted to show that I had the abilities and the traits to be an effective legislator and an effective public servant. So I put my head down and I introduced a tremendous amount of legislation. I helped my colleagues with their legislation. I built their respect over the first 2 years I was there. And I was truly honored to get nominated and voted in, as the first black majority whip in Ohio's history, regardless of party affiliation. So even when Democrats controlled the legislature in Ohio for a long time, they never nominated and elected a black majority whip.
Wow.
Why did it take Republicans? And it wasn't based off of my race. When the speaker asked me whether I would join his leadership team, I actually mentioned it to him later on. And he's like, that can't be true.
Yeah.
And I've even had Democrats say, well, that can't be true. Well, we went and looked at the history of the legislature, and it's a fact.
Yeah.
You had opportunities to elevate black individuals to these positions, and they chose not to.
Yeah.
Instead, it would always be a white liberal that's telling black people, what's best for them.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Sorry about that. How's everybody doing tonight? Happy Monday. Got a really big show planned. A lot of stuff. I'm just chewing up something for my stomach. It's rather bothering me. Okay. Let's see who's here. We got Kelly's here. What's up, Kelly? Good to see you. Pat Hacker's here. Great to see you. Awesome. Thanks for being here. Costa Rica expats here. Catherine K's here. Says, hi, Jim and Jim Somniacs. Hello, everyone. So wonderful. Choosey's here. Oh, isn't that great? Okay. I have another little video I want to play. It's kind of, hey, HJ Remy's here too. What's up? Great to see you. I have another little video I want to play. Let's see here. I don't know if you guys saw this. This is the Nanny Goat's here, lurking. Oh, great. Thanks for being here. Always remember, hit the like button. Why is my camera? Why am I hidden? That's better. Much better. Much better. Much better. I feel much better now. Okay. God, my hair is looking pretty crappy lately. I'm gonna have to do something with this. Anyway, let's hear what this Prime Minister of Australia has to say.
We take ASIO's advice very seriously. We work closely with them. We receive regular updates as well. The Director General of ASIO has warned about a range of threats, be it anti-Semitism, the rise of right-wing extremist groups as well. And we continue to work closely with our security agencies. We take.
Sorry,
ASIO's
I forgot.
advice.
I have to shut off the. I forgot to shut off the ads. I knew there was something I forgot to do. Let me do that now. All right, ads are off. Man, that was a close one. Almost forgot. Now they're off. All right. Good to know. Okay. All right. So the rise of white supremacy. That's what he thinks. The rise of white supremacy, right-wing extremism. That's what they have to worry about in jolly old Australia. Seems odd, isn't it? Since their Muslims are the ones shooting the place up, that they would talk about far right. But then again, it's possible that they don't know the difference. Like Retard Finder has to say. Retard of the day. He condemns right-wing extremism after an Islamic terror attack. This guy. Weird, right? So let's see. We're not going to waste any time. We're going to get into the first story of the day. Rob Reiner's son was arrested and charged in the grisly murder of his parents. I mean, we kind of knew this was coming last night. They said it was the son. They thought it was the son, but he wasn't arrested yet, so we didn't know, but now he's been arrested. Hey, Sunshine's here. What's up? Great to see you. Thanks for being here. Mm-hmm. Where are we at here? So, Rob Reiner's son, Nick, was arrested on Monday in connection with the murder of the Hollywood director and his wife, Michelle, and booked on a $4 million bond bail. I don't know what's the difference, really. Is there a difference between bond and bail? Does it matter? Who knows? The Gateway Pundit reported that actor-director Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle, were found dead in their home with knife wounds on Sunday. Nanny Goat gives the old sun setting. I think that's sun setting over the ocean, I think, or sunshine, maybe. Sunshine? Oh, okay, I get it now. Sunshine. I get it now. Sunshine's here. Hey, Sunshine, great to see you. People was first to report that Reiner's son, Nick, stabbed his parents to death. Reiner was open about his son, Nick's drug addiction and made a movie about the family's experience with his drug problem. According to the New York Post, Nick Reiner has been charged with murder. The couple's daughter, Romy, found the couple in their, or Rami, I wonder. Romy will say, found the couple in their home with their throats slashed. Oh, throat slash. Wow. Saxon Rainey, hi, Jim and all. Yes. Well, more information's coming out. It makes it sound worse. Rob Reiner's troubled son has been charged with murder after allegedly fatally stabbing the famed director and his wife, Michelle, at their Los Angeles home. Law enforcement sources said on Monday, Nick Reiner, 33, who spent years in and out of rehab for drug addiction, is in custody on a $4 million bail. The Page Six has confirmed. He was detained Sunday night after police discovered the director of The Princess Bride and longtime spouse had been hacked to death in their mansion. The couple's daughter, Romy, found Rob, 78, and Michelle, 68, with their throats slashed around 3:30 p.m. and told cops that she believed a family member should be suspect. Romy told cops she thought that the relative was dangerous, according to the report. Wow. Dangerous. Dangerous. That's a song. from Nolte. I don't know who. Rob Reiner's son, Nick, arrested on felony charge with $4 million bail, report says. Is that the son that did it, I wonder? Following the murder of his parents. What the hell do I keep hearing? I'm hearing Bella snore. It's crazy. Bella's snoring and I can hear it. Audra's here. Cesium Cat's here. Lisa Etter's here. Join the list of Americans who lost lives due to drugs. Yes. Audra's here. Great to see you. Yes. Gypsy's here. TMZ sure has a way with words. Yeah. I know. What's up? Delay is obvious is here. What's up? Hollywood legend and wife of 36 years were found murdered in their Brentwood, California home. Early reports say they'd been stabbed to death. Later reports claim the couple had their throats slit. The cannibalistic wizard says, "I'm here for the brown cow." Well, she's here. She's just, she's chilling there. She's waiting for her to get her call. She's waiting for the 6 a.m. call or the $50 call or $25 call, whatever it is. I don't know what to call it. Bring on the fat bacon dog. Well, for that to happen, certain things have to happen, and she doesn't come on the camera for free, as they say. It says, "Ask Jim. My wrench makes me behave extra good, and I don't even block people." Yes. Your wrench is for your protection, Choosy, because you said you were getting blocked by people, and I said, well, here, if I give you a wrench, people can't block you. Well, they can still block you, but you can't get blocked from the channel per se with the wrench. Mm-hmm. Yes. What's up? Nice to see you, Pyramid 7. I'm a pimp. Yeah, I'm a pimp, Mac Daddy, looking for $1. At 15, I bought a 6'4" Impala. Bella has an OnlyFans account. She has an Only Fries account. She likes fries with everything, and it makes her shake. Nice to see you, Gypsy. From the beginning, unverified reports that the couple was discovered by one of Reiner's grown daughters. He only has... Oh, he does. No, he does have a... I'm sorry. Awesome. He does have another daughter. I forgot about it. He has a daughter with Penny Marshall also. So he does have 2 daughters. I can't remember the daughter's name, Penny Marshall. It's not the Roni one. People magazine said that the primary person of interest was Nick, a man with a history of substance abuse problems. In 2016, Rob Reiner directed Being Charlie, a feature film co-written by Nick that told the story of a drug addict and a strained relationship with his famous father. But Bella, Jim tells you, has a red light. Yes. Does she do feet pics? Well, not as nice as yours. I mean, there's her feet right there, see? According to the sheriff's records, Nick was taken into custody. He's held on a $4 million bail. Sheriff's Department records online know that he's charged with felony, but doesn't specify further. Reiner was the son of late legend comedian Carl Reiner. Rob would go on to carve out his own place in Hollywood history with a co-starring role in the iconic but popular All in the Family TV series. In his role as Mike Meathead Stivic, Reiner became a household name and won 2 Emmy Awards. Later, Reiner would launch a wildly successful career as a feature film director. His hits included This Is Spinal Tap, Stand By Me, The Princess Bride, When Harry Met Sally, Misery, A Few Good Men, and The Bucket List. Reiner was also a left-wing political activist, primarily on social media. After President Trump won re-election, however, Reiner removed himself from political commentary and social media altogether. Now, he did say, if I'm not mistaken, that he was going to set himself on fire if Trump won. So, a sequel to Spinal Tap titled Spinal Tap: The End Continues was released in theaters earlier this year. At the time of his death, Reiner was reportedly working on a Spinal Tap concert movie. John Nolte's first and last novel, Borrowed Time, is a winning 5-star raise from reviews. What is this? Okay, I don't know. This must be the guy who wrote this. So that's that story. And then there was one part of this that I wanted to... Let me see if I have it here. This is a video. This is a video taken from the roast of Rob Reiner, which there's some jokes in here that are a little off color, as they say. Oh, wait.
Rob was routinely beaten by his father, Carl.
Hold on. That didn't work out the way I didn't work out the way I wanted. So let me do this the right way. All right, here we go. This was a post from Owen Benjamin. And it says, it turns out Reiner's son didn't find being raped as funny as the senator from Minneapolis. There are rumors. I said something about it. There are rumors that allegedly Rob Reiner and some other people did unspeakable things to some girl that did the movie Poltergeist. I don't know. I don't know. Those are rumors. It's like those are the rumors kind of out there, like the whole Richard Gere and the gerbil thing. I don't know. I don't know what's true and what's not. But this is odd.
Rob was routinely beaten by his father, Carl. On a typical night, Carl would slip into Rob's bed, roll him over, swab him down, and say something like, "I'm thinking about hiring Maury Amsterdam to play Buddy Sorrell. What do you think?" Well, the success of the Dick Van Dyke Show changed things dramatically. Carl started inviting many of his famous friends to son. Rob was routinely beaten.
I don't know. Is it ever appropriate to make jokes about any truth to the family being at a Conan O'Brien Xmas party before the event? I haven't heard anything about that. Anything is possible. Seagull Gunner's here too. What's up, Seagull Gunner? Great to see you. This is like, even whatever. But you shouldn't be joking about people getting raped. It's not funny, is it? Yeah. Oops. I don't know. I don't know. New York Post, same thing, basically. Rob Reiner's son, Nick, charged with murder. That's not funny at all. That's what I thought. It's disturbing, not funny. So I'm saying, there's all these rumors about what happens in Hollywood, and then they're joking about this stuff kind of like, it's like, is that what goes on? Is that really what happens? In Hollywood? Do they really do this? Do they do this type of stuff in Hollywood? TMZ, but not sure if it's reliable. They were arguing loudly about politics. Oh, wait a minute. So maybe Trump was right then. Maybe Trump was right about what he said. Maybe that's why Trump said it. Maybe there's. Let me get TMZ. Okay. Okay. Let's look this up. At a party, and he and his wife left. Not funny. Who thinks it's funny? Are we missing a joke? That's what I'm saying. I didn't see the joke. It's not only TMZ. It's also Entertainment Weekly and some other places. It's more disturbing how many in the crowd laughed, right? That's what I was saying. I was like, sliced meathead family time. Yeah. What's up, Toto? How you doing? So Rob Reiner and son Nick had loud argument at Conan O'Brien's party the night before the filmmaker's death. Rob Reiner and his son Nick were involved in a heated argument the night before the beloved filmmaker and his wife found dead in their home. I mean, maybe this is, the next part of the story is going to be what Trump said about all this, but maybe this is why Trump said what he said. Maybe Trump heard something and knew something. But even then, I don't know. I mean, I think he should have waited a couple days before he said anything about it. Maybe let the guy be, let things go a little. TDS provoked the son, maybe. The argument between Rob and Nick occurred at a holiday party on Saturday night hosted by Conan O'Brien, according to People. One source recalled Nick was freaking everyone out, acting crazy, and kept asking people if they were famous. They broke the news about Rob, that Nick got into a loud argument, and that Rob and Michelle left the party after a verbal altercation. We're going to need Dick Van Dyke and Julie Andrews to come to the swamp podium to explain to the Congress and Senate the theme to the sound of music, Mary Poppins and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Okay. Reps for O'Brien did not respond to Entertainment Weekly's request for comment. This guy, you know who this guy looks like? I mean, I know it's not, but this guy looks exactly like that guy, Andy something from Popcorn Planet. Andy something from Popcorn Planet. Hey, what's up, Gino? Great to see you, man. Maybe someday you'll actually come on the show. The news comes as Nick has been taken into police custody in the aftermath of his parents' deaths for an alleged felony charge. According to Los Angeles Sheriff's Department records, Nick was arrested on Sunday night at 9:15 p.m. and taken into custody the following day. A statement posted to the LAPD's website announced that the investigation found Nick responsible for his parents' death. He was booked for murder and remains in custody with no bail. Oh, you'd love to now that you're not persona non grata on YouTube anymore and won't get you in trouble. Well, you won't get me in trouble as long as you don't say that word. That's the only word you can't say on YouTube. And actually, people say it. And I don't know. Yeah, so it's not really that big of a deal. So Mark Gruber said Rob had 24/7 social media bashing Trump. Had a 24/7. Oh, maybe. Get real, Gino, real daddy soon. The case will be presented to the LA District Attorney's Office for filing consideration. Rob and Michelle, who got married in 1989 after meeting while Rob was directing When Mary Met Sally, are survived by two more children, Jake and Romy. Rob is survived by his daughter, Tracy Reiner, whom he adopted during his first marriage to actress-director Penny Marshall. I thought that was his daughter with Penny Marshall. I didn't know it was adopted. So, yeah. Tracy told NBC that the sudden passing of her father and his wife left her stunned. Rob's intelligence ties are well known. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm wondering, like, that joke that was made at the roast about the rape, I wonder if that has something to do with it. I'm wondering if that's why the kid was a drug addict. I'm wondering if the rumors about the girl from the Poltergeist, if that stuff's true. There's a lot of things that sound about Rob Reiner that were like, I don't know. Rob's family also shared a statement of Variety after the filmmaker's death, writing, "It was profoundly sorrow that we announced the tragic passing of Michelle and Rob. We are heartbroken by the sadness, sudden loss, and we ask for privacy." So there's that. Let's see what page 6 says. Rob Reiner's son was freaking everybody out, acting crazy at Conan O'Brien's party. He was acting erratically, and hours before that, Nick was freaking everybody out, acting crazy, asking people if they were famous. A third insider alleged to TMZ Hollywood rabbit holes costumes. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Something. A third insider told TMZ that the 32-year-old looked out of place at the party wearing a hoodie to a formal party. He kind of looks like Meathead did, he kind of looks like Meathead did. They could have had him cast in a remake of All in the Family, maybe. That looks like Andy something. Andy, what the fuck is his name? Andy from Popcorn Planet. Several other insiders echoed previous reports that Nick then alleged to got in a very loud argument, which resulted in his parents leaving the party post-confrontation. Reps for O'Brien and Rob did not immediately respond to Page 6's request for comment. Rob and Michelle were found stabbed to death in their home. Fetterman with hair? Maybe. Andy Signor, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Andy Signor. Doesn't he kind of look like Andy Signor from Popcorn Planet? Oh, there's Rob, and there's Conan O'Brien, Albert Brooks. Yeah. I bet you they all knew each other from writing days and stuff. Well, that kid clearly has like a look to him. They notoriously had a rocky relationship with his parents, struggled with drugs. He also allegedly had a history of violence. It's not the first time their son has been violent. A longtime neighbor told him, who asked to remain anonymous. I know of another instance a year back with Nick, but I won't say more than that. I just never thought it would get to this point. TMZ, what they say. The son were in a heated argument at Conan's party. Their son attended Conan O'Brien's Christmas party. At the party, Rob and Nick got into a very loud argument, loud enough for others to hear. The Reiner family tells TMZ, we're told that Rob and Michelle then left the party. We do not know if Nick left as well. TMZ is the first report about the argument before the murders. Our family sources add Michelle had been anguishing to friends over the last few months that she and Rob were at their wits' end over Nick's mental illness and alleged substance abuse issues and did not know what their son Nick saying, we've tried everything. Rob Perv, soon released. Yeah. Many families are dysfunctional. It's sad. Can we move on? I was trying to just find out if there was anything about what the argument was about. That's what I'm looking for. Nothing. Someone was saying it was politics, but there's nothing about the argument. So this is what Trump said about it. He said, it's a very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling but once very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away, together with his wife Michelle, reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with a mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome, sometimes referred to as TDS. He was known to have driven people crazy by his raging obsession of President Donald J. Trump, with his obvious paranoia reaching to new heights as the Trump administration surpassed all goals and greatnesses. With the golden age of America upon us, perhaps like never before. May Rob and Michelle rest in peace. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I defend Trump a lot. I can't defend this statement really because this was not the time to make this statement. It really wasn't. I don't think so. No Subway sandwiches at the party. Yelled at this is MAGA country. Okay. Son triggered TDS ranting. Hey, Sharvan, what's up? Great to see you. Harold Hamilton's here. What's up? Nice to see you. Evening all. So that's what Trump said. And people are upset about it, obviously. Rob Reiner drove people crazy with his derangement syndrome. The president says in insane and disgraceful post. Common sense anytime. Trump suggests Rob died from Trump derangement syndrome. I don't know.
Actor-director Rob Reiner had, quote, driven people crazy with his opposition to the commander-in-chief, in a bizarre rant posted on Truth Social that has drawn outrage from critics of all political persuasions. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling but once very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away, together with his wife Michelle, donor to the party, Peace. Reiner, a devoted liberal Democrat and major donor to the party, had previously dismissed Trump as the, quote, single most unqualified human being to ever assume the presidency of the United States. Nonetheless,
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I agree, Lisa. It's ungentlemanly, but not a big deal. It's not like he made stabbing motions to the left. Yeah, it's an odd statement. Probably should have just said nothing. He should have just said, "Fuck that guy." If he would have just said something like, "I always liked Archie Bunker better" or something like that, but I still don't want anybody murdered. Like something. Something. I don't know. But I wonder if he knows more. Maybe Trump knows more. Maybe, and he couldn't keep it to himself. Maybe he found out that. What the argument was about. I don't know. Quite frankly, when it's a total piece of shit, I can't really give a single fuck. Hey, look at this. Brian Ogden with a gifted membership. Let's see who got it. It says Daphne Pride, 1534, received that gifted membership from Brian Ogden. I believe, if I am not mistaken, last night, I don't remember, honestly. I should probably keep track, but I don't. But thank you so much. And with that, folks, I didn't even talk about the goal tonight, but with that, we are now $94 away from adding an extra hour to the show, because with every $100 in donations in total across all platforms and mediums, including Cash App and PayPal, along with Ko-Fi, and Rumble Rants, YouTube Super Chats, and becoming a member or gifting memberships like Brian did, I add it all up and we hit 100. We add an hour to the show. And then for each additional 100, we add an additional hour. So the show could be 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. It could be as ever long you guys, the audience, wants it to be. And then when we hit 50, we activate the Bellavision for the evening. Or if any individual donation comes in of $25 or greater, then we activate Bellavision immediately for the evening. But thank you so much, Brian. And like I said, with that, we are now $94 away from the first additional hour, and $44 away from Bellavision. Imagine being such a POS, your son killed you. I mean, you can't, honestly, because if the son had mental health problems or was crazy, thanks to whoever gifted me. I'm not sure who it was. I would have to go back and watch the show and look at it. DeLay says he has no issues here, and I didn't like what Trump said. Thanks, Brian. Bella time. Yeah. And never forget the impact of the attempts on his life have had. Yeah, I know. That's probably it. And then I don't know, I think, did Rob Reiner say something like he didn't believe I think there was some negative shit that he said about it when Trump got shot, if I'm not mistaken. Don't remember what he said, but it was a YouTube about politics. Guess we'll see. Yeah. Release the Hound. We can't release the Hound until we get paid. That's how it works. I'm going to give you 1,001 nights so you're still here when I wake up. That would be, that would do it. That's a lot of money. I would still be here then. I would have to get something to pee in. I'm not European. I mean, truth be told, I'm getting giggles over the people who are throwing a fit of what Trump said, basically jerking it to Kirk dying. Yeah, it's actually, there's a lot of people who are saying this stuff about that, and then people are posting, but wait, look what you said when Charlie Kirk died, and showing these people are making a big deal. It's like, dude, you posted a picture with blood coming out of your neck wearing a shirt, and it was what are you doing? Surprised to see concern over an abrasive tweet from Trump. It's not new and unusual. No, it's not. It's not. But I mean, he seemed to have been maybe I don't know.
even conservatives were outraged by the president's comments about the late Hollywood titan. That Trump wrote this is insane and disgraceful. That the White House chose to tweet it out is pathological. Charles C.W. Cook of National Review Online wrote. His colleague Dan McLaughlin added, frankly, Rob Reiner's politics was always the least interesting thing about him. But even if that was all he did, the man was just murdered. Later that day, during a press conference, Trump doubled down on the incendiary comments.
Mr. President, a number of Republicans have denounced your statement on Truth Social after the murder of Rob Reiner. Do you stand by that post?
Well, I wasn't a fan of his at all. He was a deranged person as far as Trump is concerned. I think he hurt himself in career-wise. He became like a deranged person, Trump derangement syndrome. So I was not a fan of Rob Reiner at all in any way, shape, or form. I thought he was very bad for our country, yeah.
78-year-old Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle Singer Reiner were found dead the afternoon of December 14th by their daughter Romy, who immediately told cops the killer was another family member, TMZ reported. The A Few Good Men director and his 68-year-old wife were both found with their throats slit, according to the outlet. Sources told the Post that stab wounds to their throats were among multiple wounds throughout their bodies. Their horrified daughter quickly told investigators that a, quote, dangerous relative should be a suspect, sources told the outlet, suggesting it came during a heated argument. Later that night, Rob's 32-year-old son, Nick Reiner, was detained and has been charged with murder, law enforcement sources confirmed. Friends and neighbors of the Reiners told the Post on Monday that he was notorious for being violent, while a former classmate said they instantly knew he was the one who allegedly murdered his parents. This is not the first time their son has been violent, a longtime neighbor of the victim said. I know of another incident a few years back with Nick, but I won't say more than that. I just never thought it would ever get to this point. Just one night earlier, on Saturday, December 13th, Nick accompanied his parents to famed talk show host Conan O'Brien's Christmas party, where he got into a, quote, very loud argument with his father, Reiner family sources told TMZ. The sources added that Rob and Michelle had been lamenting to close friends over Nick's mental health and addiction issues in recent months. Nick, who has been candid about his struggle with battling drug addiction and homelessness in the past, was first sent to rehab at the age of 15. In a 2016 interview, he told People, I was homeless in Maine, I was homeless in New Jersey, I was homeless in Texas. I spent nights on the street, I spent weeks on the street. It was not fun. I met crazy great people there, so out of my element. Now I've been home for a really long time, and I've sort of gotten acclimated back to being in LA and being around my family, he added. He later co-wrote a semi-autobiographical film directed by his father called Being Charlie, about his 17 visits to rehab, and said being a vagrant was a valuable experience. That made me who I am now, having to deal with that stuff, he told the outlet. While promoting their movie, the father-son duo opened up about their dynamic.
It really clicked for me because we didn't bond a lot as a kid. But I just, when I saw him do that, and it was something that I'm interested in, I was like, wow, like he really knows a lot, and like it made me feel closer to him and be like, yeah.
You're like, wow, my dad's Rob Reiner.
Listen, I had to talk to him about this. Listen, I know what it's like to be the son of.
Yeah.
And to have people assume certain things about you, and it's very, very difficult. But they don't know. They don't know what he's experienced. They don't know what he's gone through.
Yeah.
During a September 2015 interview with the LA Times, Rob expressed regret at how he handled his son's addiction battle. When Nick would tell us that it wasn't working for him, we wouldn't listen. We were desperate, and because the people had diplomas on their wall, we listened to them when we should have been listening to our son, he told the outlet. In Nick's last public appearance, 3 months before he allegedly stabbed his parents to death, he walked the red carpet with them. They were accompanied by Nick's siblings, Jake and Romy, to the September premiere of Rob's new movie, Spinal Tap 2, at the Egyptian Theater in Los Angeles. Later that month, Rob mentioned having, quote, bad children when asked which of his films he would most like to be remembered for.
Well, I mean, you know, listen, people have their favorites. They, you know, and we, the cliche, we love all our children, even the bad ones, you know.
Following his
We're
arrest,
talking about
Nick
movies,
Reiner
though.
is currently being held in custody on $4 million bail, Page 6 confirmed. His father, Rob Reiner's legendary career in directing includes notable films such as The Princess Bride, When Harry Met Sally, and A Few Good Men.
Wow. All right. Well, there was that. So, yes. Lisa says, I get it, Jim. We hoped for better on this one. Yes. National Review is a bunch of neocons. Yes, it is. Reiner also ragged on Rush after he died, so show us on the doll where his truth hurt anybody. Yeah, I know, but, you know, you think Trump's got to know something. The third person reference is great. So many of the libs have messed up kids. Trump has lots of kids and grandkids, and they're all pretty good people, so that probably irks them all. MSM using all the buzzwords to describe Trump, shaping the narrative as usual. Yeah. Reiner made some great American films. Sure, he had bad opinions, but that doesn't deserve death. I didn't agree with his politics, but it's over for him and his wife now. Reserve the vile comments. That's kind of how I look at it. I don't wish death on anyone. That's not, I mean, except for like child molesters and murderers and stuff like that, rape them people. I'm like, okay, wood chipper, but I don't know. I don't know that for a fact that Rob Reiner did any of that stuff. For a fact. 17 rehabs. Holy shit. Yeah, that's a lot. We keep calling Nick a troubled child. Yeah, he was like 30, wasn't he? 17 visits to rehab. 17 visits to rehab seems like a lot. It was the last Christmas party O'Brien has. Probably. Nick deserves to rot in prison. Sadly, Newscomb put a pause on capital punishment. Oh, man, this is going to be a depressing show tonight. No, it's not. It's not. I got other stuff. We had a paranoid schizophrenic in my family. I'm grateful it didn't end this way. Yeah, 17 rehabs. Wow. Wasn't Rob implicated in Heather O'Rourke's demise? That's what I was talking about, the girl from Poltergeist. That's what all the rumors were. What happened to no cash bail? Well, I think if he would have just killed one of them, he would have got out. But because it was two, it's, Rob was upset and horrified over Charlie. He condemned it as a Christian Jew. That's what he said. I played that last night. What he said after when I saw that, I said, I'm gonna give him, grace because he wasn't as crazy, it seems, as some of the people. The comments were disgusting and embarrassing. So the media is implying that they had differing political views. Let's move on to other stuff fast. All right. How fast? All right. So there's that. Okay. Let's do this. Donald Trump spits on Rob Reiner's grave. He died because of incurable TDS. He said, that's what he said in this. He said, as a Jew, I'm a Jew, but I believe in the teachings of Christ. I don't know what that means exactly. I don't know. That's what he said. I don't know. We got this. Marjorie Taylor Greene calls out President Trump for his comments. Of course she does. Calling, so we saw that. What does she say? The comments drew criticism from Greene later Monday morning, who said her congressional X page that the focus should remain on family in the ongoing investigation. So it's really not. Rob Reiner was tragically killed. So that's not, the family's tragic. It's not about politics or political enemies. Okay, so she said many families deal with a family member with drug addiction and mental health issues. It's incredibly difficult and should be met with empathy, and especially when it ends in murder. I mean, I don't really see this as calling out like what they're claiming. Doesn't really seem like it's like she attacked him, right? She didn't say something like he's just, she didn't say like she didn't say anything really crazy. This just says, first GOP lawmakers condemn Trump over Rob Reiner's post. I challenge anyone to defend it. Oh, look at this. I guess this is a way to get Kevin to give money, is I just get a story that he doesn't like and talk about it. Thanks, Kevin. Jim, please move on to the next story. I will. I'll move on to the next story. And with that, folks, we are now $89 away from the first extra hour and $39 away from Bellavision. And I guess before I move on, I will say that this is the, for those who don't know, there was a special going on. Tonight is the 1 year anniversary of Jeff DeLawrack's Legal Vices passing. So it's a weird feeling knowing, some like that person who I had many good conversations with, and he was a good guy. MTG is on a persona non grata list. Yeah, this shit's too depressing. Well, I had to get that in there about Jeff, so that's kind of depressing too. So let's see. All right, let's go here. The U.S. Dramatically escalates Somalian airstrikes as Trump administration targets ISA and Al-Qaeda terrorists. MTG is on your persona non grata list. Okay. I'm sure Trump was aware of all the political commentary of Reiner, who's also a big money donor to the DNC. Oh, yeah. Yeah, if he only had a knife that's a knife-free zone sign, it would have helped. The number of U.S. airstrikes against jihadi terrorists in Somalia has increased more than tenfold under the Trump administration so far this year compared to missions carried out under President Sleepy Joe Biden. Yay, good news. We're killing terrorists. U.S. Africa Command confirmed to Fox News Digital on Friday that it conducted 10 airstrikes in 2024, and so far this year it's carried out more than 100 airstrikes. Yeah. Rest in peace, Jeff. He was a good guy and a true dude. Yes, he was. Nice to see you tonight, Steve. In the latest military action, AFRICOM, how do I say AFRICOM? That's AR. Anyway, we're involved in an airstrike and reported gun battle lasting up to 4 hours with ISIS, Somali jihadists in Puntland in the north of the African country. The operation was conducted, AFRICOM said in a media statement, in coordination with the federal government of Somalia. U.S. forces killed 3 narco-terrorists in the Eastern Pacific in lethal strike. Multiple local sources report that high-value ISIS targets were hit, with reports that a high-level terror leader was either killed or captured, and up to 10 terrorists killed. There are no reports of U.S. casualties. This attack is the latest in a series of missions over Somalia against various jihadi groups, primarily ISIS, Somalia, and Al-Qaeda leaked Al-Shabaab, Al-Shabaab. An AFRICOM spokesperson told Fox News Digital on Thursday that U.S. conducted an airstrike approximately 66 kilometers southeast of Bosaso. To date, we've completed 101 airstrikes in Somalia, 59 of which have specifically targeted ISIS Somalia. In coordination with the federal government of Somalia, we continue to take action to degrade ISIS Somalia and Al-Shabaab's ability to threaten the U.S. homeland, our forces, or our citizens abroad. Do you read AFRICOM? Yeah. An AFRICOM spokesman told Fox News that they conducted airstrikes. We read that. Here's what they look like. Look at them. They're very skinny. That's why they're called skinnies. Remember when these lawyers doing shots for cash? Yeah. Many Africans are Muslims. Yes. Local sources report that in the latest attack, MQ-9 Reaper drones dropped missiles on the terrorists who were said to be in and around a large cave. And reportedly followed by using 10 helicopters. During the battle, several sources claim U.S. troops disembarked from the helicopters. So they were on the ground fighting. U.S. military officials dismissed the fact that American forces stepped on smelly soil. What's up? Al-Shish Kebab. Yes. In a public statement, AFRICOM said specific details about the units and assets will not be released to ensure continued operational security. In August, AFRICOM stated they carried out multiple airstrikes against ISIS fighters, with AFRICOM General David Dagvin Anderson saying these lethal strikes demonstrate our resolve and commitment to ensuring Americans and our partners remain safe from the threat of global terrorism. The general continued that the strikes were aimed against an organization that wishes to export their terror to the U.S. and our allies. U.S. aircraft launching from an aircraft carrier were shown in official photographs accompanying the media statement about the attacks. It says Ahmed Soliman, senior research fellow from the Africa program at Chatham House. Pretty soon we'll be slotting floppy here. Maybe. So they had at least Blackhawks in the area. I wonder if they were supported by Apaches. I would hope so. Or maybe Little Birds. He said the U.S. focus on ISIS in Puntland is partially driven by the goal of preventing another international ISIS safe haven from emerging, as well as a potential threat from ISIS Somalia recruitment of foreign fighters. However, the imbalance has led to growing concerns that the international response may be lagging behind the pace of Al-Shabaab's resurgence in central and southern Somalia. Al-Shabaab has leveraged this shifting international focus to reconsolidate its areas of operations. The group's advances have taken place against a backdrop of Somalia's increasingly fragmented domestic political landscape, ongoing power struggles between the FGS, federal government of Somalia, and member states like Puntland and Jubaland have undermined coordination and counterterrorism efforts. Did you guys know that Somalia used to be called Italian Somaliland? Because it was ran by the Italians. Today, in May, AFRICOM's then commander Michael E. Langley referred to the strikes in Somalia, told Air and Space Force magazine the U.S. is actively pursuing and eliminating jihadists. So what do we think? It's a good thing or bad thing? Good thing or bad thing that it seems like we're in a lot of shit in a lot of different places. Seems like, we got the 3 guys that just got killed in Syria. We're fucking around in Venezuela. This in Somalia. What do we got going on with Yemen still, right? Over there? Seems like a lot of shit going on. Oh, is that why Italy dumped nuclear waste off the coast of Somalia? Could be. They used to control it right up until, that's like the start of, the start of World War II was technically when the Japanese invaded Manchuria, I think. But then closely thereafter, Italy invaded Abyssinia, which is now called Ethiopia, I believe, right? And was doing stuff. And then when they got over, they were trying to go into Egypt from Libya. They were getting defeated. And then the Germans had to come in and to try. But because the British had Egypt. And for some reason, we are in Syria. I don't know why we're in Syria. I really don't. Dead terrorists is always a good thing, if not them blowing something up. Yeah. Hunter strike this year shows AFRICOM's mission outpaces even U.S. act than the Caribbean. Nice pictures of some F-18s. Let's just see. Hunter airstrike campaign against Islamic militants in East Africa. The strikes in Somalia this year far exceed all previous years. It's on pace to potentially double the previous one-year high of 63 carried out in 2019. In addition, the strikes are occurring at a faster clip than the Pentagon's campaign against the drug traffickers in the Caribbean. Since September, U.S. forces have launched at least 21 separate strikes against suspected traffickers in the Caribbean and in the Eastern Pacific. By comparison, at least 28 strikes on militants in Somalia have occurred during the same time frame. Also, that's 7 more. AFRICOM has long conducted operations against Al-Shabaab, an Islamic militant group aligned with Al-Qaeda. Shouldn't it be Al-Qaeda? Quai. ISIS in Somalia formed in 2015 by defectors from Al-Shabaab. In 2019, there was 300 ISIS militants in Somalia. But as of May, ISIS Somalia cell has grown to 1,500 fighters, with roughly 60% being foreigners. So what are we putting in? You thought Somaliland and Somalia are not the same? I think they are. If you look at the map where Italy came from, where that was right there, Somalia, Somaliland. I think it's the same place, right? Am I wrong? Did I get that fucked up? I don't think so. Isn't Syria kind of strategically close to Russia? Syria is right next to, not very many miles away from Israel. And Syria is on the Gulf of the Mediterranean Gulf, the Med. Now, the government of Syria was connected to Russia, but that was Bashar al-Assad, who was forced, strangely driven from power right before Biden left office. It says, yes, Italians are Somalian. Okay. Says U.S. personnel in Somalia provide various forms of support to the country's shaky central government as it attempts to keep al-Shabaab and ISIS at bay. They're next to each other, but the peoples are different tribes. Oh, wait. Hey, Jim, some good news. Hunter Biden was disbarred in Connecticut. Just the news. Geography with Jim. Well, I'm not very good at geography, really. I'm not a geographetician or whatever they call them. Tell me, Jim, tell me. I'm trying. Okay, so we'll see. Let's see what else we got here. Site. What's this? This says U.S. airstrikes. Somali troops kill at least 7 children in November offensive. So this article is saying that someone killed children. I don't know if they're blaming it on us or the. It says U.S. airstrikes and Somali government ground troops, including a militia trained by the U.S., killed at least 11 civilians, including 7 children, one as young as 7 months, during an operation on an al-Shabaab stronghold. Well, now, if they were inside the stronghold and there was like a firefight, I don't know. Drop Site News spoke to 4 witnesses of the attack. How did you do that? Yes. Yeah, I am not a biologist, but I can tell you what a woman is. Blame it on the whites. I am. That's what I'm saying. It's those whites. It's got to be their fault. Mr. White. AFRICOM released a statement confirming it conducted strikes in the area and did not respond to requests for comment about the operation it supported killing civilians. Neither did the governor of Jubaland. Oh, so Mohammed Hassan Aboulay and Nuto Mohammed, his 7-month-old daughter, died instantly after 2 pieces of shrapnel hit her in the head. Oh, that's horrible. Now, see, I have to wonder, is this just more of the propaganda that the terrorists use like they did with other stuff? I don't know. It's sad. It's really sad. All right, now this is the case against, this is the next story. The case against the California redistricting is moving forward. And this is the assemblyman who sued. I'm going to talk about it.
Tomorrow, California leaders and Republicans will try to make their case in court as to whether the state should keep its new congressional district maps. California voters approved those maps last month to give Democrats even more of an advantage in future elections. This all comes as the United States Supreme Court allows Texas to keep its new maps that favor Republicans. Earlier this week, I spoke with Republican Assemblymember David Tanguipa, who is part of the group who sued the state because of the new maps. Here's our conversation. Assemblymember Tanguipa, welcome back to the show.
It is always great to join you.
So what prompted you to want to file this lawsuit and be a part of it against Proposition 50?
Well, really, what we saw through the legislative process when they put this on the ballot was in 4 days, we were able to move mountains for something that I believe nobody was ever asking for here in the state of California, realistically. And when you're moving and jamming through the process as fast as they did, they're going to make mistakes. And I had actually warned them that if they were doing this and they were doing so as sloppily as they were, they're going to have to face potential challenges. And we believe that they have violated the Constitution. They used race as a justifiable means for what they really wanted, and that was a political gerrymander. But there are very strict guidelines that if you are going to use race as a justification for why you decided to redistrict, you have to follow the Voter Rights Act. You have to make sure that you're taking into account all of the necessary problems and remedies and why it's necessary to even race-based redistrict in the first place. And we don't believe that they did any of that. I know they didn't do a lot of that because even in the legislation itself, there's a portion where it says the Assembly and the Senate Elections Committee prepared these maps. Well, that is a lie. Because we know, as Paul Mitchell had stated himself, as you had him on your show, he said that he drew the maps. So if they were going to lie both on who prepared the maps, if they lied on the fiscal impact that was given out to the voters, we were going to make sure that we bring accountability back to California.
And just to take a step back here, I mean, as you just mentioned, your lawsuit alleges California leaders violated the Voting Rights Act by giving Latinos specifically an advantage over other racial groups in those new maps. But the lawsuit against Texas's maps also alleged Voting Rights Act violations, but for suppressing the vote of some racial groups. I mean, how confident are you with the Supreme Court allowing Texas to keep its maps and justices noting that states, including California, are basically just trying to give their dominant political party the upper hand here? I mean, how confident are you that this lawsuit really goes anywhere?
Well, so this lawsuit is actually a lot closer to the lawsuit that Texas faced in 2021 and that Louisiana had faced in 2021 as well, talking about how these districts really do suppress other minority groups. And that's exactly what we're saying, is if the state of California and the people who drew the maps decided to use the Voter Rights Act to justify how they drew these districts, they need to make sure that they have all of the justifiable reasons. We do not believe they had that. If you look at the state of California, we have a Latino and a Hispanic larger population. They are actually the largest ethnic group in the state of California. And yet when Paul Mitchell put out these maps, he said the first thing he did was draw more racially drawn Latino districts. Well, if Latinos do make up the majority or the plurality in this state, then why do they need more VRA style districts? And does that constitute a barrier to other minority groups? We believe it does. But not only that, if you look at the Jingles case and the standard that was created under Jingles in 1986, there has to be a ethnic barrier too that justifies the reason why you race-based redistrict. Well, and this is a big reason why I decided to bring this lawsuit, is I represent one of the widest districts here in the state of California. I am Polynesian. I am the first Polynesian ever elected to the state legislature here in California. So it proves that even in white majority districts here, there is not an ethnic barrier for drawing VRA districts. So when Paul Mitchell and the other groups in the legislature got together, said that they were going to use race to justify their gerrymandering, well, therefore, they violated the Constitution. So again, Texas's maps are significantly different, especially the new ones from 2025, because Texas never came out and said that we were drawing VRA districts. Texas came out entirely and said that we are drawing political districts. That is fundamentally different than what the words that came out of the people who supported Prop 50.
Wow.
My full conversation.
That's the difference, I guess, between the two. So that's why people think they're going to be able to get these overturned. So on Monday, a 3-judge panel in the U.S. District Court of California will begin hearing arguments 2 and 4 for and against California's new congressional district maps, which were drawn to help Democrats win future elections. I think they basically said that they were drawing these to give Hispanics more power. That's what they said. That's where I think the problem is. See, Wilkie says that my understanding is that the Somalis are the bad guys and the crooks and they're the crooks and the pirates. They hate Somaliland. I haven't found anyone that voted for Prop 50. But the F says, neither have I. Defining race by color is Satan's thing. Happy Monday, everybody, from Neurodivergent One. Hello, Supreme Court, race-based maps. Yeah. That's the difference. They're trying to say, oh, well, Texas got, well, because Texas did not base theirs on race. They based theirs solely on voting patterns. Dang, I missed 1 hour. Don't worry about it. Hit the plusy button. It's been tickled. Thanks, Jody. Joe didn't raid. I can't keep raiding him if he forgets to raid out. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's up with that. I really don't. I mean, I sent him the link and everything like at 3:00 this afternoon with all the show stuff he had was stuff I sent him. I don't know. And I sent a note in there saying, hey, don't forget, do this. You know, it's all set up for you. So he could have did it when he set up his show. He didn't have to do it later. He could have did it. It takes 2 seconds. I don't know. I don't have an answer. I don't know why he doesn't do it. What's up, Ank? Great to see you. Where's Ank? Where's Ank? I didn't see Ank. Why do I not see Ank? What is going on? Why don't I see Ank in here? Need armbands. We go by Pigment now. So why the fuck am I not seeing him? What is going on with StreamYard? This happened the other night where I wasn't seeing people's shit. Yeah, KPT, what's up? Great to see you. Confused the voters in a pamphlet saying it was a bipartisan redistricting. Yeah. More Republicans in California than any other state. Yeah, there are. There's like 40 million. There's a lot of Republicans in California, more than any other state. That's right. What's up, Brian Ogden? Hello. There's Ank. The color racists you like are a whitey. Color racists you like a whitey. You look like a whitey. Okay. We go by pigment levels now. Need armbands. Maybe. The hole in the ballot made sure. Yeah, that was weird. Maybe percentage of pigment on the armbands. Right here. Hi, Jim. I don't know why I didn't see you. I see Ank. Something, I think StreamYard fucked up and something changed where they're not taking live chat. They're taking top chat. And that's why I'm not seeing some people's chats. The Polynesian that was talking. Oh, okay. Okay, in that video. Okay. Technically, I can claim to be part Pacific Islander because my name is on an island in the Pacific Islands, and my last name. There's a whole bunch of people with my same last name from that island that look a lot different than me. Just saying. Joe's boomer adjacent, but I do like the histrionic personality disorder rants, and even though they're mostly muted. Well, you dropped my link in Joe's live chat. Best you can do. Yeah, I know he needs. Well, does he have anybody who's? Are you a mod? Are you a mod in Joe's chat? Because I don't think he ever raids out his Rumble chat ever. I don't think he does it. He was white looking. Republicans have sued state leaders, including Gavin Newsom and Secretary of State Shirley Weber, for the newly drawn maps, which voters approved through Prop 50. Oh, yeah, but if you're light-skinned now, the color racists call you white. Yeah. Does Joe have any mods? I mean, I'm a mod in Joe's YouTube chat, but in Rumble, I don't know. Like, if I was a mod in his Rumble chat, I would always rate his Rumble out to myself. I would do it while he was still streaming just to be a jerk. No, I wouldn't do that. That ain't cool. They won't consider race, but they want their races observed. What's the thing? Like, I make it a plan. Like, I don't really have any lined up for tonight, but usually we have a whole bunch of. Oh, there it is. He's rated to stream. See, how did that happen? That's in Rumble though. Did he remember now at the last minute? I'm a mod on Joe. He doesn't read his chat. I'm not a Rumble, just YouTube. Yeah, me too. Yeah, he rated now. Someone rated it now. One of Satan's tools. The thing is, they keep saying about how that ICE is targeting brown people. But 80 to 90% of the people getting arrested by ICE, if you look at the paperwork, it says they're white. I don't get it. I don't get it. What the hell? That's Jacob that did that. Okay. Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate the raid. Very much so. I appreciate the raid very much so. I didn't even have it popped out. Oh, what do you know? I did have a Rumble rant. I didn't even notice. There's a Rumble rant from DizD. Let me pop this chat. I didn't pop it out. I didn't have the chat popped out tonight because I'm a dummy. Let me share this tab. So yeah, DizD. There was a $5 from DizD. Thank you very much. So with that, we lower the banner. It gets changed to thank you very much for the 5. So that means we are now $84 away from a first additional hour and $34 away from Bellavision. Oh. Jacob says, I'm here dealing with a flip car 2 houses down, DUI hit and run. Dude's on the loose, making sure clan is secure. Oh, that's great. Make sure you keep everybody safe and secure. Red Alert 47 says, who cares what color they are? They're going after illegals regardless of color. No, I know. What I'm saying is they keep claiming that, ICE is racist. They're targeting brown people, but yet on all the paperwork it says they're white, so it doesn't make a lot of sense. Raiders of the Lost part up on the horizon. Great. Being vigilant. That's awesome. Hit the like, Raiders. And then it says here, look at Good Logic has rated the stream. That was Jacob. That's awesome. Thank you, Jacob. Thank you. So let me get back to this. So this guy, Assemblyman Tangipa, is among the group that sued. Attorneys on behalf of Republicans said California violated the Constitution by favoring Latinos over other racial groups when the maps were quickly put together. In 4 days, we were able to move mountains for something that I believe nobody's ever been able to ask you for here in the state. Realistically, when you're moving and jamming through the process as fast as they did, you're going to make mistakes. So who knows? Maybe this will get. That would be funny if these maps get tossed for being racial gerrymanders. So that would be funny, right? Wouldn't people think it was funny? I mean, I know I would. I would laugh. I would think it was very funny. So court battle begins over California's congressional maps designed to favor Democrats. But see, this is the AP showing their bias because they're not designed working on a raid for you, Jim. Oh, I appreciate it. You just left LF6B where a lady talked about her son rescuing a person from an overturned car. Okay. There's a census of 30,000 Somalis in central Ohio, with reps stating more like 60,000. That's a second to Minnesota. Can't wait for ICE to show up there. That would be great. They need to go everywhere. Evening wankers and wankies and those who identify as both. Well, great, Duck Fat. Great to see you here. Look at that. This is just slick, sick man. Oh, this says Big Red One Guy has rated the stream. Thank you, Big Red One Guy. The fight over California's new map, designed to help Democrats flip a string of House seats, kicked off in court on Monday. The hearing in Los Angeles sets the stage for a high-stakes legal and political fight between Trump administration and Gavin Newsom. Lawsuit asked the 3-judge panel to grant a temporary restraining order blocking the new map by December 19th. We'll see what happens. So we'll have to see what happens with that. We'll have to keep an eye on it. Got this story. The FBI stops a planned New Year's Eve Los Angeles bombing by anti-capitalist, anti-ICE terror cell. I read somewhere that they were pro-Palestine. That's what I read somewhere. I don't remember where. Wow. Let's hear what they have to say.
So as many people are learning, Palestine is the true name of Israel, right? Israel was a creation in 1946 by
Israel existed thousands of years ago. What are you talking about? The name Palestine, it became Palestine when the British formed it and said it was Palestine. It has nothing to do.
The Zionists. It's the same with Turtle Island. That was what the original tribes on the Americas, before it was called America, it was known as Turtle Island. Because believe it or not, if you look at the map, rather from the top down, but the bottom up, you flip that map of the Americas, it looks like a turtle. And so that's
Oh.
what the natives called it, was Turtle Island. So that's the decolonized name of the Americas.
Oh. How the fuck would any of these natives know it was shaped like a turtle? They didn't even have a fucking wheel. They didn't get in outer space and saw it's the shape of a turtle. They didn't know what the fucking continent looked like, you stupid idiot. What is wrong with these people? Yeah, morons. Yeah. It was the Romans who first called it Palestine. Well, no, I thought it was called the Philistines or whatever because of the Philistines. Was it called Palestine then, or was it something else? Maybe I'm wrong, but it was. I mean, it was called many names. But the dude took off so fast he left a bottle of Crown on the floor. Don't do dreadlocks, not even once. Good logic. Did you hit the thumbs up, Joe? I don't think Joe's in here. That was just somebody who rated Joe's stream in here. If they take the diaper off and wear it on their head. Yeah. Show your face, honey, dare you. Wild said I said it all. They turned on into a board and memorized it clearly. Absolutely, entirely idiot. These folks will buy any crazy story. Yeah, I saw something today. I didn't pull it up because it seemed like really crazy that in the days of Herod, Romans referred to it as Palestine. Okay. Joe doesn't even know he rated the stream. Wait, you expect liberals to have common sense or logic? Yeah, I don't know. They're trying to rebuild the caliphate. The only way to stop the attacks is to limit the one that they want. Yeah. I saw some today with this group of people that were claiming that Japan was actually founded by Nigerians that went to Japan and set up this town called Edo, and it was the Nigerians. So Japan is actually Nigerian.
And Turtle Island Liberation Front is looking for reparations and land back for these indigenous groups in which the land was usurped. Many people think it's so far removed, but I have many comrades who are Native American and have stories of just their great-grandmother, being put in residential schools. It's still impacting the most recent generations. It's not as removed as people think it is. So, land back today, for tomorrow, and forever. Land back.
Land back. Turtle Island.
Oh, Turtle Island. Okay. Yeah. The FBI arrested 5 members of an anti-capitalist, anti-government extremist group on Friday and charged them with a plot to carry out coordinated bombings in and around Los Angeles on New Year's Eve. She has many comrades. I hope they arrest them all. Yes. The small native tribe to Japan is dark-skinned but very Asian. Okay. Yeah, the East Coast tribes conquered the area barely 100 years prior to Columbus. Palestinia, which was derived from Philistine, was done to insult Jews since they constantly were revolting against them. A big FU to the tribes. Any relation to the terrorists arrested in California? This is the thing I'm talking about. It. Yes, this is them. Yeah, bingo. Okay. Or what it was. You can also get gifted a sub that way. Viva has had a few gifted subs to streams he's never been to. Yeah, I think Joe was gifted a sub in Rumble too, because for that. Yeah. I believe she is inhaling and exhaling the same brain cell. Take off the scarf, honey. This me thinks they're crazy. Natives can get bent. You lost. Be happy we didn't exterminate you like you did to those you stole the land from. Somalia, salmonella, same difference. Howdy, hamburger helper. Great to see you. The credible imminent terror threat to 5 unidentified companies, logistical centers in Southern California came from radical members of an offshoot of the left-wing Turtle Island Liberation Front. FBI Director Kash Patel and other law enforcement officials revealed on Monday. Oh. La Metis Métis. Okay. I don't speak frog. The splinter group called themselves the Order of the Black Lotus. What the fuck? Isn't the Order of the Black Lotus? Wasn't that the name of the group in Avatar? Avatar, the one with Aang and them, the last Airbender. Was it the Order of the Black Lotus, or is it the Green Lotus? I can make Joe show up, but it wouldn't really be him. San Bernardino 2.0. French and Indian descent. Okay. First Nation. Okay. White Lotus. It was White Lotus? Okay. Damn it. Would have been better if it was Black Lotus, because then they probably stole it from that anyway. LARPers. 8-page handwritten document titled Operation Midnight Sun that laid out the bombing plot to a confidential FBI source, according to a criminal complaint. They sound like Harry Potter fans. Well, I was thinking they were Avatar fans, that they were going to earth, wind, water. Ooh, we bring back the elements of the earth to battle the evil of the Fire Nation. You're a Mohawk from Ontario, California. Okay. It's a Canadian thing? Okay. Let's all go back to the Big Bang, the origin point of the universe, supposedly. Yeah. Look at those. That's a crazy. She's got really crazy eyes. Why Turtle Island and why it connects to Palestine. Okay. 4 of the suspects were collared in Lucerne Valley in the Mojave Desert, where they were captured on video attempting to test improvised explosive devices. Oh, well, that's always good when they're testing devices. Yeah. I mean, these people say MAGA's a cult. Yeah. Either way, they got a pocket full of magic. Yeah. See a Black Lotus from Blade Runner animation and a Magic the Gathering card. Okay. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, Boohoo. The quartet, let's see who they are. Audrey Eileen Carroll, Zachary Aaron Page, Dante Gaffield, and Tina Lay have been charged with conspiracy and possession of unregistered destructive devices. Ooh, that's a big one. That's an unregistered destructive device is a 10-year federal prison sentence, minimum. A 5th unidentified suspect was arrested in New Orleans while planning a separate attack. Uh-oh. Carol and Page led the group and convened a private signal chat where they used code names, with Carol identified as Siganek and Page identified as Ash Kerrigan. Oh, these motherfuckers were playing Pokemon. Or Cthulhu's daughter, and Gaffield was Nomad, and Lay was Kickware. Wow. Yes. Enjoy your stay. That's right. Enjoy your prison stay, because it's going to be a long one. You grabbed his channel account to keep it from the trolls. You have Good Logic channel. Oh, okay. Geez, I think I'll stay home for New Year's. Honestly, I'm going to tell everybody, my advice would be to seriously consider going to any public events, mass crowd events, not just because of this crazy stuff, but the Islamic stuff, and then you got other crazies, and you know, this year is fixing to be a big one. The group has begun assembling the complex pipe bombs with homemade gunpowder in the desert, where FBI agents arrested them on December 12th. Why make homemade? You could just buy gunpowder. Why would you be making homemade gunpowder? Or maybe in California you can't buy gunpowder? The MTG card is one of the 9 most powerful in the game and is banned in most competitions. Okay, the Black Lotus. Carol's bomb plot was explicit, Asaili said, and it included step-by-step instructions to build IEDs, improvised explosive devices, and listed multiple targets across Orange County and Los Angeles. Carol also made clear her desire. She said, what we're going to do will be considered a terrorist attack. Well, that was pretty fucking dumb to say that. Calgary should be safe. Honestly, I don't know anywhere in the Western world that's going to be safe. Look what just happened in fucking Australia. You guys up in Canada imported a whole fuck ton of nutters, just like we did down here. Hey, Karen's here. It says, hail all. Thank you for being here, Karen. It's always great. I always know the show will be awesome when Karen is here. The sophisticated criminal scheme involved each participant wearing so-called black bloc clothing, using burner phones, wearing gloves, concealing their hair, paying for black powder pipe bomb materials in cash, and even placing a small pebble in a shoe to alter natural gait to obfuscate their identity. So see, they're learning. They learned about gait recognition software. Was the only reason the FBI caught on to these guys is there were FBI's involved with them? Will this be one where there was more bad guys than FBI guys? I don't know. I think because they actually started looking into these groups because they're crazy and saying all these things, so they started probably actually looking into them. You know, invite them to come and learn. The radicals had also planned to target property and facilities operated by two separate companies that are used or engaged in activities affecting interstate and foreign commerce. That's a big one. Page suggested it was 100,000% likely that the FBI would be tracking them and suggested all members take appropriate precautions. While Carol shared that she had purchased 13 PVC pipes and 2 5-pound bags of potassium nitrate on Amazon using a burner account. You do realize Amazon, they got this delivered. I mean, what are they talking on a burner account? What you think she just used? They monitor tree stump killer sales at Home Depot. Grandpa and the real McCoys used a pebble in his shoe to do his limp. They believe we're Jews. Maybe. I don't know. Might be another Whitner deja vu. These clowns need to get their own material. Carol and Page discussed follow-up attacks, including plans to target ICE agents and vehicles with pipe bombs in January or February, according to Asali, and the complaint, which Carol said would take some of them out and scare the rest. Yeah. Never in writing, always in cash. Get with it, people. Amazon will deliver to lockers, but there should still be cameras. You live here? In Calgary or in the U.S.? What are you talking about? What do you mean? You live here in the U.S. or you live in Australia or where do you live? I don't know. I am Judah Ben-Hur, or is that more of an Easter thing? I don't know. Could be Easter's a thing for that. It would let the people take care of the crazies. It would be all over in a couple of weeks. If they would let people take care of the crazies, yes, I agree. Pebble in the shoe is also confused a lie detector test. Well, that's what they say. Actually, the pebble in the shoe or a pin or something like that, you put a tack in your shoe, actually, not a pebble. You put a tack in your shoe and you step on it, and the whole time you're constantly stepping on it, and the pain is a constant thing, and so it's supposed to confuse the lie detector test. I don't know if it works or not. Ontario, where the Indians have flooded because it's more Asian than Chinese. Okay. They believed we will fall for this. Look at us. We are hero FBI storytelling. Maybe. I mean, even if, here's the thing. Even because I despise these people, their message, and I think they're fucking nut jabs, and that, I still wouldn't want the FBI setting them up and trapping them like they did to the Whitmer people. I wouldn't want, I wouldn't want anything to happen. Or take a Vicodin. You take a Vicodin and it'll fuck up a lie detector test? Really? British Columbia, BC. Do you happen to know Frankie McDonald? The greatest weatherman in the world? British Columbia is more Chinese. Oh, I thought you were in British Columbia, maybe. I don't know. I don't know Canada's geography at all. I just know the Trailer Park Boys are from Canada. And I know Frankie McDonald is from Canada. And I know Rush is from Canada. And I know that Bachman Turner Overdrive is from Canada. And Brian Adams is from Canada. And isn't Frankie Nova Scotia? Yeah, I don't know. Isn't it all the same? It's all I'm not a fucking geographer, man. It's all the same to me. Did you hear about the birth control for men? Yeah, I believe it's called a condom. I think it's been around for a long time. In a separate signal exchange with the FBI source, Carol revealed she kind of had this notebook where I wrote down multiple plans that never happened or got delayed. So it's like my terrorist diary, LMAOOOO. I have to get rid of that. Yeah, Frankie is the best, man. Yes, he is. He's far eastern Canada, Maritimes. Okay, what's a Frankie? Frankie McDonald. He wrote a book called Be Prepared by Frankie McDonald. Great book. Great guy. There's a male pill in a shot. He's friends with Chrissy Merritt. Well, I mean, he originally started out on In Hot Water, Frankie, and then Chrissy kind of. I think he started out on In Hot Water first, and then went to Chrissy. Maybe I'm wrong. Frankie only goes raw dog. That's right. And he gets his haircut from, what the fuck's the guy's name? But he never tips him. Gerard, something or other. He never tips the guy. Frankie's a riot. Frankie is a riot. The foursome were scheduled to make an initial appearance in LA federal court at 4:30. He's terrific and smart as fuck. Yeah, he is. He's a great guy. Great guy, Frankie. We intend to file additional charges in the coming weeks as we finish reviewing the evidence. The defendants are all radical anti-government members of the Turtle Island Liberation Front, which, according to their own social media, is an anti-capitalist, anti-gun movement that calls for their associates to rise up and fight back against capital. How are you going to rise up? Jim has never had real poutine. No, I've never had real poutine. I would love, from what I hear, it's really good. When I hear it's really good. I would love to have some real poutine, but then I'd have to go to Canada. Deck him into the snowbank, Canadian baptism. Yeah. I do love hockey. You know, I don't know. I would love to have some real poutine. Guess who? Oh, the Guess Who? Are you saying the Guess Who are from Canada too? I think what's his face is also from Canada. What's his name? That Neil Young is from Canada. SCTV. Yeah. Search warrants were executed nationwide in connection. Well, why would it be nationwide? In connection with the domestic terror probe, complex coordinated effort singling out accused terrorist properties. Come on, Jim. Where are we going? The FBI thwarted a terrorist attack at the Christmas tree lighting ceremony at Portland Pioneer Courthouse Square. Gonna get worse, peeps. Wow. Really? Wow. My ex dated one of the Guess Who. Oh, that's cool. Who? Who? The Who? Who are you? Who? Won't you tell me now? Who are you? Posters were discovered at Page's residence stating "Death to America," "Long Live Turtle Island" in Palestine, "Death to ICE," Turtle Island Liberation Front. The investigation crossed the entire country. FBI Los Angeles Field Office Assistant Director in charge, Akil Davis, also confirmed on Monday's press conference. Guess who? Guess who? I really want to know. Yes. Omimi, Ontario, Neil Young. FBI is boosting their own ratings. Yeah, they're trying to, this is what you call like, in my opinion now, this is what you call like garbage time, you know, in football, and when they're like, it's at the end, they're already such a lead, and then they put go ahead, get this garbage wins. I'm originally from the outskirts of Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh Penguins were awesome back in the day, games back in the day. Yes. Japanese. Neil Peart, St. Catharines, Ontario. Wow. My opinion, Neil Peart, greatest drummer ever. Greatest drummer ever. I think, you know, a lot of people think maybe John Bonham, but no, or Keith Moon. But if you, at the time, whenever Neil Peart was asked about who he thought was the best drummer, he said Buddy Rich. That he thought Buddy Rich was the best drummer. Which, if you've never heard any of Buddy Rich's drum solos and stuff that Buddy Rich did, check it out. Man, he could go. Tilf's Chapter had posted photos on its Instagram of its members waving Palestinian flags and brandishing "Death to ICE" sign, and proclaimed it is dedicated to liberation through decolonization and tribal sovereignty. They made a Led Zeppelin on Mythbusters. Rush. Yes. Ginger Baker snapped it. Okay. They're all good. I'm just biased. Yeah. Well. I don't know. The more I see of this, the more I get Army of the 12 Monkeys vibes. People always confuse favorite with best. John Bonham is undisputed champion. He's right there. If you want to talk rock drummers, it's like right there. Those are the top two. It was like John Bonham, Neil Peart. Which if John Bonham would have lived longer, he probably would have made, had some ice. Jim started it. Yeah. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have fucking said anything. Turtle Island is an indigenous term for the continent of North America that's been appropriated by Black Lives Matter and other left-wing groups. Is it really, though? Is it really an indigenous term? Because who says? The FBI affidavit said that the content on the account references to TILF calls for liberation of their lands and people. TILF also calls for the working class to rise up and fight back against capitalism. So they're communists, anarchists, anti-capitalists. Isn't death to ICE a threat to a government official, not free speech? I think so. I can listen to Leonard Skinner and Eagles any day of the week. Oh, yeah, I like Skinner. I like the Eagles. Not John Bonham, but AC drummer. Kidding. Oh, yes, it is. It's shaped like a turtle. How would they know it was shaped? Come on. How would they know it was shaped like a turtle? How? How would they know it's shaped like a turtle? They didn't even have the wheel. You think they were in outer space somehow seeing the size, or if they mapped the... Come on. Oh, Lisa comes in for 10, says need to get another hour. Thank you so much, Lisa. But unfortunately, I don't really think it's going to happen tonight. I mean, I'm willing, but I don't think it's going to happen tonight. We haven't even cracked 100 people tonight. And we've been going an hour and a half. So we are now 74 away from the first additional hour and just $24 away from Bellavision. Like we'll be lucky to get Bellavision tonight. Splitting hairs, Pert was Rush, carried the band. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, what's his face? Alice Lifeson, right? Which I don't know his real name. I know it means Lifeson or whatever, or something like that. He's like Czechoslovakian, I think, or Polish or whatever. But he was a pretty good guitar player. I mean, he was good, and can't follow jazz. They are disrupting Xmas markets all over Europe. Good question, but they don't know. But they don't know. Maybe the aliens told them. Maybe the Anunnaki came and told them. Rush, Anika Nell's new tour, awesome. NPR commentator nearly said stolen land tonight when talking about Thanksgiving. Definitely insinuated. Yeah. Can I have my $10 back? If you want it back, I don't know what's that. I want you to rally. Yeah, sure. I'm just saying. It just doesn't seem like. I don't know. I guess I shouldn't have said that. That was very rude. But I tell you what, Lisa, if we don't make it, I will credit your 10 tomorrow. They believe it's enough. Direct action is the only way. Esley credit President Trump's executive order targeting domestic terror organizations like Antifa with having helped the feds begin the investigation that ultimately foiled the attack. As President Trump made clear, recent attacks across the country have highlighted the grave threats posed by these far-left domestic terrorist groups. She goes, no, lol. Okay. Good drugs. Wow, look at, they got a burning heart there. Resistance is the deepest form of love. Wait, so if they think that resistance is the deepest form of love, so does that mean they think rape is cool because if someone's resisting you, that means it's the deepest form of love? Just read part of one of the creation stories that shared the name Turtle Island, and yeah, pack them in a cannon and fire, dumbasses. Okay. You're a good man, Jim. Well, I think so. It sounds like a bunch of incels. Soul trains were in North America first, not in Clovis people. I know, Salutrians, not soul trains. So nothing was stolen. What the fuck? Hey, Miss Hacker, great to see you. They even have an Islamic slogan. Yeah, they do. These threats are sophisticated, organized campaigns of targeted intimidation, radicalization, threats, and violence designed to silence opposing speech, limit political activity, and direct policy outcomes, and prevent the proper functioning of a democratic society. After an intense investigation, the Department of Justice, working with our FBI partners, have prevented what could have been a massive and horrific terror plot in Central District of California. Isn't that weird that Los Angeles is in the Central District of California? Wouldn't you think it was Southern California? Just saying. I guess San Diego is Southern, and they consider LA to be Central. And then what is San Jose, San Francisco? I thought that would be Central. I guess that's Northern, right? I don't know. The Turtle Island Liberation Front, a far-left, pro-Palestine, anti-government, anti-capitalist group, was preparing to conduct a series of bombings against multiple targets in California beginning on New Year's Eve. The group also planned to target ICE agents and vehicles. This was an incredible effort by our U.S. attorney's offices. Hey, Terry. Great to see you. Good evening, friends. According to Eugene Carroll, grape is sexy. It's sexy. We got post-millennial, pro-Palestine terrorists arrested for a L.A. New Year's Eve bombing plot. Nothing California does make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. This is where the Clovis spent 1,000 years. Okay. That is where. What is this? Oh, look. An FBI stops radical pro-Palestine New Year's Eve terror plot, report says. So, the same stuff. Palestinian extremist group. NBC, same thing. DOJ arrests 4 people accused of planning to set off bombs around LA. The Dryas period. Central California is Stockton to Fresno? Really? Huh. Bay Area is Oakland down to San Jose. Wait, so they have, I thought when I was talking, hold on. I thought there's only 3 districts in California for the feds. So you're saying there's a Bay Area too? It can't be, because when they filed the case that they sued about the deployment in LA, the case was filed in San Francisco. So according to the feds, there's 3 districts, and San Francisco is in the same district as California, as LA, according to the feds, I think. I trust anybody who names their animals tits, 0%. Orcal, NorCal. What is this? Oh, is this a raid? Oh, is this going to see him getting arrested? Okay, we'll watch this then. We're going to show him getting arrested. We can watch that.
Let's bring in NBC News Chief Justice and National Affairs Correspondent Kelly O'Donnell. Kelly, thanks for being with us. I mean, really just some stunning details here. What I mentioned, the Turtle Island Liberation Front, as well as what sounds like an even more sort of radical group within that group called the Order of the Black Lotus. We understand sort of the leader here said that their sort of mission was, quote, everything radical. Tell me what just stuck out to you from that press conference.
Well, I've also been reviewing the criminal complaint here, which is a very dense document that talks about how human sources were able to deal with this group, provide information that authorities were able to act on. Handwritten plans to have backpacks filled with pipe bombs for what they claim are planned attacks that would have, had this group been able to move forward, targeting New Year's Eve across 5 locations in Los Angeles. This group, which may be new to, it was new to me, it may be new to many of our viewers, describes itself as wanting to use not just peaceful means to take action.
not
in fact,
just
they
peaceful
decry
means.
peaceful means based on quotes that are obtained and written into this document from the handwritten notes in preparation that authorities claimed they were able to receive. Anti-government, anti-capitalism, wanting to have sovereignty, the name Turtle Island associated with some Native American groups referring to North America. So there's a lot here to try to understand. What clearly has taken place in terms of the law enforcement piece is they were able to intercept this. They were able to get through search warrants, through interviews, through reviewing documents, enough information that they believe they were able to take these 4 individuals off the playing field, if you can use that term. A 5th person also arrested in New Orleans, perhaps related to this. And it talks about a very organized plot. We don't have all the details yet in going through this about how they were financed or how long this has been in the works. But this is the kind of thing that when the sheriff was talking about use your instincts, if people see something in their community and it looks askew to them, listen to that instinct, because these kinds of homegrown small group plots can be something that can be at times difficult to penetrate. And in this case, the FBI and the collaboration of law enforcement were able to get real active intel with plans for testing explosives out in the desert, descriptions of what their motivations were. There's also a political piece in this. And so there's the law enforcement work that has brought us to this point with this criminal complaint and these defendants being in court later today to face these charges. And then obviously you heard what is an overarching theme of the Trump administration, and that is the argument that that they are looking for left-leaning groups that are anti-government, anti-capitalism, and willing to stoke violence. We've seen a lot of political violence in our country this year in particular, and certainly this plays into part of what the administration says it wants to root out. This certainly falls right into that category of the kinds of groups they are pursuing, and in this case, they have a lot of supporting evidence, as evidence is described in this criminal complaint, that shows intent, it shows the tools, the bomb-making materials, a lot of details that help to bring this case together and potentially to have thwarted a plot that might have played out around the holidays. Savannah?
Really just some chilling details there, Kelly. Also, Kelly, you mentioned the fact that they were testing these bombs in the desert. For viewers who are watching their screens, they were actually just showing a moment ago surveillance footage. They had actually been able to film them. Here it is right here on your screen, testing these bombs out in the Mojave Desert. I understand we were just made aware at this press conference it was after this video was taken that those arrests were made. And the authorities that just provided this briefing do believe that they have everyone who was involved in custody. Kelly, thank you very much for your reporting there and for getting through those documents quite quickly.
Yeah, so it looks like they had drones monitoring it, stuff like that. Let's see, it wasn't satellite footage; it was drones. I mean, our satellites are good, but not that good, I don't think, per se. They wouldn't release photos like that of our satellites if they have them. Was this another FBI operation? It's possible. Part of the decentralized Antifa, I agree. And then, isn't Turtle Island the place Justice Conway owned on Mountain Men? Yes. That's what he called it. And I wanted to go back to this. Yeah, they got all of them, though, all 4 of the whole group. Well, they got another guy, too. And the Boohoo says Solutreans came first, I believe. But this is also true. Is like the sea levels were 400 meters lower. During the Ice Age, they know, because if they know about these freshwater pulse 1 and 1A, or 1A and 1B, or something like that. There was 2 pulses of water like 1,000 years apart that raised the oceans. Prior to that, the oceans were a lot lower, and so islands were there was a lot more islands, and like there's a lot of strange things when you start tracking DNA. Like DNA, they found DNA on like Easter Island and places that correlate to like Chile, and like Argentina and stuff like that. You know, different like not human DNA, I don't think, but chicken DNA. So like weird, you know, and so it's quite possible. And they found like there's some weird DNA results from people in South America, some of the tribes in South America that correlate to some other areas that like it's quite possible like that people moved maybe along the coast because, you know, during the Ice Age, that was the whole Bering Sea land bridge was there, you know, because the water was lower and stuff. And there was like, they could go by boat. It looks like they might have traveled and they were living close to the water and like were probably small boats and stuff. And people say, oh, there was no sign that there was boats, but they know that there's parts of like how did Australia get populated? How did, you know, there was bigger islands and stuff in India area. There was a whole landmass called, what the fuck is it called? Oh, I can't think of the name of it. There was a Mauritania? No, that's not it. Anyway, there's a whole island that sunk there, a whole thing like this whole, all these legends and stuff, and they know there's sunken temples and stuff. So how did the temples get sunk, and how did that stuff all happen? And, you know, a lot of things. Yeah, what is it going to take for normal folks to actually see or care? And none of those in the Mockingbird media, to be honest, and stop protecting people. I don't know. I counted 6 people in the desert, only arrested 4, so no, they didn't get them all. Yeah, what's up, Rachel? Start referring to colonizers as economic refugees, and lefties hate it. Use their arguments against it. Well, I just call them settlers. They weren't really Black Sea Valley. That must be it, Gun, because I'm just blown away by seeing all the people supporting and not caring. Yeah. People related to chickens. No, not. I'm saying like they had like chicken DNA, like something they did. It was a show I watched. They were talking about they found like chicken bones and stuff from stuff on like Easter Island. You know, like because who built those Maui, you know, Moai or something? What are they called? Moai? The heads? And they found like bones and stuff, like chicken bones. And then also like bananas, kind of banana seeds and stuff that they trade. And they found like different, it's like weird, like there was probably a lot more islands and people were like the Polynesians, everything were hopping island. And it's more than likely Polynesians went to South America, populated South America. I guess that's what I was getting at. North Sea was mostly land. Houses remained found underwater. Yeah. I'm trying to be giant 20-foot chickens, a.k.a. dinosaurs. That would be great. MRE business startup. MRE. New business startup, yeah. Oh, yeah. There you go. Yeah. Live to sail, sail to live. Pangea, that's right, Pangea. But there's also something, not only Pangea was when everything was all one island. I'm talking about there was they found 1.5 miles of old chariots at the bottom of the Red Sea. Well, that would mean that they verified what the story of Moses parting the Red Sea, wouldn't it? There was a flood in North America. Yes, there was. Karen, a boat is a hole in the water to toss money into. Been there, done that. Yeah. That's that boat stands for bust out another 1,000. It's everything. You heard from a congressman that Guam might tip over. Well, it could be. But chickens weren't native to that island. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why they got there somehow. Yeah. Okay, I get it. More happening than heads in the ground. Yeah. Yes, Jim. Okay. A flood unlike anything seen by man. Will Cece get a 6-pack by February? I don't know. Hey, look at this. Terry for 5. What's up? Thanks. With that, folks, we are now, I've got 100 people watching right now. With that, we are now $69 away. 69, dude. Away from the first additional hour. And $19 away from Bellavision. Wow. Thank you very much, Terry. Pangea was too long ago. It was during the dinosaurs. Yeah. Make sure you hit that like. That's right. Let's see. Let me check. Just make sure there's nothing going on. And I'm going to have to tell Bronca about how to do this, how to pull this up. All right, nothing there. So we got that story out of the way. Onto this story. We got professors and students appeal a ruling on the Alabama law banning DEI initiatives at public schools. Yes, Hank Johnson was the genius who said the island would flip over. Yes, he said that if we put more Marines on the island, aren't you worried that the island might tip over? And the admiral at the congressional hearing says, no, Congressman, we're not worried about the island flipping over. We've done numerous studies, and it's not going to happen. And his latest thing, Hank Johnson, just recently within the last couple of weeks, was Lemuria, the landmass that sunk. Yes. Yeah, just like Atlantis. Any minute now. What? What does that mean? Any minute now. What? Red alert. Yeah. So he also, his latest thing though, Hank Johnson said that America is the great Satan. A group of students and professors at public universities across Alabama. I want you to go back to Greenbow, Alabama. Yeah, Pangea seems strange. It's not like the continents are floating around in the ocean. It's an island, not a patio boat. It says chickens were first domesticated in Southeast Asia, so Easter Island probably populated by the same people as Australia, New Guinea, etc. Yes, that's what I think they were saying, and they think they made it because that's what I'm saying. The DNA from the ancient line that they say, like the ancient DNA that they trace to those chickens, is also found in South America. Like the same chickens in some areas of South America have the same DNA. That's what I'm saying. So it's weird. It's like somehow people went there. Mu was an island same time as Atlantis. The Empire of Mu, I think it was. Maybe that's the one off of India. Yeah. So they appealed the court decision asking them to halt the state law that bans diversity, equity, and inclusion. What Republicans lawmaker dubbed as divisive concepts. Well, I think it's divisive. The Alabama measure, which took effect on October 2024, is part of a wave of proposals from Republican lawmakers across the country taking aim at DEI programs on college campuses. The state law prohibits public schools and universities from using state funds for any program or curriculum that endorses divisive concepts related to race, religion, gender identity, and religion. Why would they have religion in there twice? Why would religion be there twice? That's kind of dumb. Instructors are also prohibited from encouraging a person to feel guilt because of those identities. U.S. Judge David Proctor allowed the law to remain in place, writing that a professor's academic freedom does not override a public university's decisions about the content of classroom instructions. Good, you hope it gets to SCOTUS. Some people call it a sling blade. I call it a Kaiser blade. I'm going to get me some French fried taters and some mustard sauce. Chosen Juan. He wrote the law does not banish all teachings or discussions of these concepts from campus or, for that matter, even from the classroom. To the contrary, it expressly permits classroom instruction that includes discussion of the listed concepts, as long as the instruction is given in an objective manner without endorsement of the concepts. You watch Squaring the Circle with Randall Carlson for an ancient info, RE to Earth? Yes, I love Randall Carlson. I think he's great. He's reminds me of my grandpa. Chosen Juan can see you. Oh, can he? Is he here? It's too complex a concept for people who don't know what bathroom to use. Yeah, it can be. Let's just say Alabama University of Alabama shutters black female student magazines. Why would they have their own magazine? Harvard credentials with the $5 spot will get you a latte thanks to the DEI, not merit-based, broken down education system, but I don't understand. The appeal comes on the heels of a July mandate from the Department of Justice that outlines similar required changes on public school campuses across the country. In 2025, student affinity groups have shuttered their doors. Professors have been put on leave. Black student publications have closed, and curriculums have changed. Blacks are underrepresented in Alabama? I guess. I'm subscribed to Randall Carlson. He's a bit like, what's his name? Grizzly Adams? Antonio Ingram, a legal defense lawyer for the plaintiff, said in an interview that the law doesn't clearly outline what endorsement entails, making professors vulnerable to frivolous investigations and limiting their ability to present vetted research. Truth becomes what the state says versus what independent researchers and theorists and academics have spent decades crafting. Oh. Hey, Will Call Magic is here. What's up, buddy? Great to see you. If allowed to stand, the law makes universities mouthpieces of the state that can be used for propaganda. Oh, God. Mm-hmm. Oh, geez. Not mouthpieces for the state. Wow. Not like that's been going on before. Like, we don't have media that's mouthpieces for the state. Sarcasm, Jim, about Alabama. Oh, I know. Trey Smith knows a lot of biblical information, including historical geology. Is that genealogy or geology? Geology. Did you bring the Rocky Mountain spotted fever with you? I hope not. That's not good. I've gotten so used to do it myself, but an actual spa day would be glorious, a.k.a. Lyme disease. Dana Patton, a plaintiff who teaches political science at the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa, said in an interview that the state law led her to change curriculum that she has taught for decades. Well, stop teaching people bullshit. You wouldn't have to change it. We feel very constrained by the vagueness of the law, Patton said, since some students might misinterpret a lesson for endorsement of a certain viewpoint. Last year, 5 students complained that Patton's curriculum for the interdisciplinary honors program she administers is in conflict with the law. Patton insists she always taken measures to ensure a wide array of viewpoints are represented, but it hasn't assuaged her fears. She has since taken some material off of her syllabus. It's just safer to not teach certain things and to avoid potential repercussions or complaints being filed. Instead of being mouthpieces for the CIA like the Harvard Kennedy Center, yeah. That's because they're either too stupid or too poor to get into Alabama. They aren't underrepresented. They're just thugs because they think they deserve things for free. Not all, but the majority. Uh-oh. I didn't mean to stir up a rabbit's nest. Hornet's nest. What's a rabbit's nest to do with it? Ride through any city with a large black population, you'll see what I mean. I love soul food. Just saying. Oh, we got this. You know, we got the judge. You meant geology, but he knows genealogy as well. Okay. Judge Hannah Dugan trial day 1. Opening statements get underway. I mean, this is the first time in my life I've ever seen a courtroom sketch artist actually make the person look better than they look in real life. They made Judge Dugan actually look like a normal looking person. This is crazy.
Presided over. A Milwaukee County judge who's presided over countless trials now finds herself in the defendant's seat in a case that is being followed across the country.
Judge Hannah Dugan is on trial, charged with obstructing federal immigration agents, and opening statements were today. Adam Reif covering this historic trial for us, and he joins us live from the courthouse with how it all started. Adam.
Natalie and Jessup, we just wrapped up a very busy first day here in the federal courthouse. 3 witnesses testified. We're in the middle of the third. It will continue tomorrow. Let's start at the beginning today. Opening statements gave us the first look at strategy from both legal sides in this case. We heard the first witnesses, and we're also down a juror, so a lot to cover. Let's start here with those opening statements. It's the first look at strategy from the 2 sides. The government will try to prove Judge Hannah Dugan's actions were unusual and deliberate. Her defense will say she did nothing out of the ordinary to intentionally conceal Eduardo Flores Ruiz. Assistant U.S. Attorney Keith Alexander told the jury Dugan intentionally tried to get Flores Ruiz out of her courtroom in an unusual way, quicker than normal and through a different exit. Dugan's defense attorney, Stephen Biskupik, argued Dugan was trying to contact her superiors, and nothing she did was out of the ordinary, a sign she was not trying to deceive or conceal. Now, the first witness was FBI Special Agent Erin Luker. She was questioned for more than 3 hours about the fundamentals of this case, the layout of the courtroom, the hallways, the exits, etc. The government repeatedly showed the surveillance video of Dugan interacting with those federal agents. They played audio that was recorded from inside her courtroom. Then a federal ICE agent took the stand. He talked about procedures for arresting someone in a courtroom. He was then followed by an FBI special agent who took part in this operation. He also explained the details of how they go about arresting someone in a public courthouse, showing that it was routine for them. They were plainclothes, yes, themselves as agents to the public, but they did go through security. They did identify themselves there, that it was part of their routine. Jurors were mostly attentive all day. I watched many of them. They were on their edges of their seats at some point. Towards the end of the day, though, they were sitting back. I did see a couple yawn. It has been a very long day for these jurors, and we are down to 13. One of those jurors had to call in sick today, as the judge in this case said it's cold and flu season. He needs everybody to stay healthy. They only have 1 extra juror at this time. They're only able to strike 1 at the end of the trial instead of the 2. So we have a lot to watch. We're going to start again at 9 a.m. tomorrow. That's when things will continue with that FBI special agent. Natalie and Jessup, back to you.
Wow. So, yeah, so that's what's happening with that. Opening statements were delivered in a federal trial. Let's see here. So, Tasmanian Rebel says, I attended the California Maritime Academy a couple years after they stopped forcing graduates to take a military commission. Is the Dugan trial televised? No, it's a federal case, which that should change. All trials should be televised. All trials. Well, you didn't. I'm just trying to be honest. It's easier for them to sling drugs and steal than it is for them to work around here anyway. Well, didn't mean to. Whoa, federal courts are not televised. Why are they down a juror? One was sick. What was that? What do you mean? This was the trial. What was that? Now I'm confused because I don't know. She looks like a troll that crawled out from under the bridge. Yes, man, baby. Another narco boat and one of Barnes at Destiny synchronized ovarian weeps. Yeah, I don't know what's up with Barnes. I really don't. I hope she's convicted. We really need a win. Yeah. Another narco boat blasted. Fuck being sick. Yeah. But weren't there 2 other agents she didn't recognize? There was 1 agent she didn't recognize. Aiding and abetting next. There was 1 agent she didn't recognize that was still there and that watched it all. So, but if that agent wasn't there, the other people that she thought she got the people away. I am sorry you aren't feeling well, my friend. I'll keep you in my prayers. If you want to be a military pilot, your best bet is a maritime academy. You get 5 mandatory flight billets each year. Oh. Lady said mostly attentive. Yeah. The hell of jury duty. Yeah. Disbar her too. Yes, definitely disbar her too. I live near 8 Mile near Detroit. Nice enough neighborhood where I'm at. Everyone has about an acre, etc. Anyway, culture isn't exclusive to race or color, but stereotypes develop for a reason. Yes, stereotypes develop for a reason. I hope they get her on everything possible. Indeed, on Guan, that guy is such an idiot. Yes, exactly. She should be made an example of. Juror was sick. They had a secondary. Well, they only have 1 extra now, so if they lose another one. I can't even buy car parts over here in their closing times. Gates, guards, they don't want to open to let anybody in. Zombies. Wow. Sick of court. Buy car parts. Get a good ASVAB score. Yes. There's no cameras allowed. The courtroom was very large with 35-foot high ceilings. Wow. That would be great for filming. 40 people packed a few benches in the courtroom gallery with more people watching in an overflow viewing room. Dugan was sat by the defense table, and U.S. Attorney Keith Alexander started by quoting Judge Dugan as saying, "I'll do it. I'll get the heat." He added, "That's what the defendant said when she helped a man accused of battery avoid a lawful arrest." For 48 minutes, Attorney Alexander told the jury that federal agents' actions that they were routine. They identified themselves as at security and told the two bailiffs they were there to arrest Eduardo Flores Ruiz. He said Dugan originally planned to call a different case first, but when Dugan was notified, the agents in the hallway, things changed. That's the problem. The bailiff or somebody told her, the agents are outside waiting for this guy. They're going to get him. Hey, what's up, Cool Frog? Great to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Alexander said Dugan went out of her way to direct the agents out of the hallway, then quickly called Flores Ruiz's case and told his attorney to leave through a private door, which is all true. Alexander played audio from inside the courtroom. He said Dugan re-entering her courtroom and Flores leaving. It only took 2 minutes and 49 seconds. He said by saying the agents did not expect to see a judge sworn to uphold the law would divide their arrest team and impede their jobs. Didn't they film on the moon? Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm saying they should be filming in here. It's just the Supreme Court, the Supreme Court is not, for whatever reason, they're not allowing it. I don't know. She's the one who helped or tried to. The illegal escaped, and they know for sure who told her. They should be charged as well. I think it was her bailiff, and her bailiff was just informing her because once security found out, the bailiff knew. Probably just, hey, they're going to be taking this guy, so if you see something, that's what's happening. Just in case. They probably told the bailiff, her bailiff, security probably told her bailiff, if you see guys grab somebody outside the courtroom, don't freak out. It's the ICE grabbing this guy. Then she told the judge, and then the judge just decided to do all this stuff. So it's on her. Yeah, federal trials have never been allowed cameras. They should, though. Yeah, just another example of our federal system being transparent. Not. When it was time for Dugan's defense opening statements, attorney said that the most important week of her professional life. His key was focused on nothing Dugan did out of that day was out of the ordinary. A sign she was not trying to deceive or conceal. So every other day she tells people, come with me, I want to go talk to the chief judge. She goes out into the hallway and starts questioning people in the hallway? Really? Huh. He said the door Dugan sent Flores through is 11 feet and 10 inches from the main door. Oh. Yeah, Congress provides the funding for federal courts. They could mandate live streaming everything except for SCOTUS. Yeah, so the bailiff wasn't actually trying to help the illegal, but was warned they might grab him. That's what I'm guessing happened. I don't know that 100%, but I'm guessing that would happen. They notified security. Security is bailiffs. And they're all going to talk, so they probably told exactly who they were going to get and where they were, because they don't want someone to come and try to grab them when they're grabbing this guy. If there's a fight, they don't want bailiffs getting involved and interfering because then the bailiff would be breaking the law. So they tell him, hey, listen, this is what we're doing. Here's our badges. This is what we got this warrant for this guy. We're going to get him. As soon as he comes out, we're going to wait for him to get his hearing. As soon as he comes out, we're going to grab him. So her bailiff probably know, and he probably just told her. The bailiff is the one who, I think, is the one who testified, told the grand jury all the stuff. That's why she got indicted, basically. Told them, like, yeah, this is what happened. I told her, and she went, I don't know, this is what she did. She decided to help him. She probably made comments that she was going to help him escape or something that are probably going to be used against her. He said no one told her there was a warrant to arrest him and that Dugan had 33 cases that day, 20 set for 8:30 alone, and fast proceedings were not unusual. The first witness call was an FBI special agent who spent most of her time explaining the timeline of the event and layout of the courtroom. The jury's down to 13 people because one left. Outside the courtroom, a rally was held in support of Dugan. Oh, of course there were. Immigrants said they want to send a message that due process matters and immigrant opportunities are important. What? If, when this man was arrested, if they had called ICE, wouldn't even need to have him waste court time. Just deport him before he even gets to an arraignment. He had a deportation order already. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Hope Dugan won't do it again. Well, if she gets off, she'll definitely do it again. Yeah, there was another one. There was another one of these cases that happened during Trump's first term. a judge did this. I want to say it was in Boston. Did some same kind of shit in Boston. Like actually took the guy and walked him out the back, like snuck the guy out through the back door of the courthouse and got him out. That judge got arrested, but I think the Biden administration either dropped the charges against her or like basically gave her like a slap on the wrist. Backdoor Dooman should get an exam. How many illegals have slipped through her back door? Bad news if he committed a crime after she let him go. If there's any justice, she'll be convicted. Portland, Oregon also did that. How do these judges think this will help America? They don't. Their minds are fucked, man. They think they think America, we're better this way and we're built by immigrants and all this shit. Yeah. He has already left the country. I thought he did. Wow, we've been going 2 hours and 15 minutes already. Uh-oh. Did I never start the goal on YouTube? What? I never started I started a goal on YouTube. What the fuck happened? I started the goal on YouTube. What happened? All right. I guess I'll do a 30-minute last ditch effort to go. I know I started a goal on YouTube. I know it shouldn't have expired yet because I started at a half hour. It was a 3-hour goal. I started at 30 minutes before the stream started, so it should have had another. I was just checking to see what it said, and there was no fucking goal up there. What the fuck is going on, YouTube? The fuck are you doing, YouTube? That's weird. I know I started a goal, and I know I looked at it, and I checked it, and it was there, and it said there was a goal. I know it was there. Have you checked other platforms? PayPal? I haven't. Oh, KPT sent me 7 on PayPal. Thank you, KPT. Thank you so much. So with that, goal. So with that, I'm sorry. Have I checked other things PayPal? I haven't. So that puts us now, we are $62 away from an additional hour and $12 away from Bellavision. $62 will get us there. Well, to Bellavision, yes. $62 will get us Bellavision. Yes, I need an audio clip, but I'm screaming goal. What's Bellavision? Bellavision is this. It's Bella. That's Bellavision. It's Bella. You get to see the Bellavision. Oh, I thought it was 12 from the goal, not Bella, just Bella. No, it's 12 from it's 12 from Bellavision. We are currently 62. What did I do? What is fucking going on? What the hell is happening here? What the fuck is going on? Did you already share that MTG got engaged? No. Bella's good, not to shame her at all. No, I didn't know MTG got engaged. I didn't know anything about it. Oh, here we go. Renee says, I got Bella. All right, thank you. Wow. There goes Bella. Thank you so much. Thank you. So with that, now we are $50 away from the first additional hour. Gremlin generator next door. Yay, Bella. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Renee Collins. Thank you. So that's that story of this. And then this is, I think this was the reporter, Adam Clansfield, but I think we saw, how long do we have to get there? We have a half hour. We have over a half hour. We got a half hour at least a half hour to get the 50. The trial, Judge Hugan is set to kick off today at 9 p.m. I don't think I'm going to go through this because that was the guy, I think, that we just saw all this stuff. Let me double check here. Well, I don't see anything in Rumble. I don't see anything in Rumble. Okay. Let me move on. There's a picture. Look at that's what Hannah Dugan looks like. Look at her. Ugh. So I'm saying the court reporter did her a huge favor. Milwaukee judge on trial for aiding immigrant told staffer she'd take the heat. That's right. She told the staffer, "I'll take the heat. I can take care of it. Don't worry about it. I'll get it. I'll handle it. I am a judge. I can do whatever I want. I am above the law." That's what she said. I'm above the law. She said, I'm above the law. I could do anything. You like Bella, yeah. It's an old saying, but it's great. My old pit bull Snow lounges like Bella, kind of built like her too. Gentle soul. Bella's beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. Jabberwocky nonsense. Don't take guff from these swine. I don't know what that means. Law from the Dems. They've been saying it for a couple months now. I'm looking for the loose thread so I can unravel it all. Is she marrying a White House reporter with that Zelensky suit question? She looks like a character from the Dark Crystal. Oh, yeah, right? Thank you, Judge Dugan, for, all these people have this TDS, man. It's terrible. So she directed the immigrant out to the private door. Well, I mean, we could see if maybe we'll look at this. There's one other news, organization talking about it here. Let's see.
Well, the trial for Milwaukee County Judge Hannah Dugan begins this morning.
She's accused of helping an undocumented man escape ICE agents earlier this
Illegal
year.
alien.
Illegal
alien. Why the fuck did he do this shit? Illegal alien.
Hours from now. Good morning, Bowen.
Good morning. Yeah, in just a matter of hours from now, the first day of the trial will kick off here, and the defense and prosecution will make their opening statements today, and this will show what they hope to prove to the jury from both of their sides here. And today will be the first day the jury will actually get to hear from the prosecution and the defense. And this will really set the tone for the trial and give a roadmap for how the trial will go.
Hey, Spuds is here. What's up, Spuds? Great to see you.
This morning, and one legal expert we spoke with says the opening statements will show what the prosecution and defense will highlight throughout the trial. Hannah Dugan is accused of helping an undocumented immigrant escape ICE agents at the Milwaukee County Courthouse earlier this year. The case has gained national attention, putting Milwaukee in the spotlight of immigration debates. The jury is made up of 9 men and 5 women. 12 jurors will decide this case. 2 are alternates. Criminal defense attorney Julius Kim says the jury panel is a makeup of people in several different counties across the region. He says the evidence in this case appears to be straightforward.
Because this isn't a really factually complicated case, I don't think that the opening statements are going to be going on and on and on. It could be even 15 or 20 minutes apiece. This is a stressful night. The lawyers are going to be up late at night getting ready for this.
And attorneys hope to have this case in the hands of the jury by Friday. In Milwaukee, Bowen Kudrovich, Fox 6 News.
And Fox 6 has gavel-to-gavel coverage of the Dugan trial. You can find a live blog with updates on our website and find live coverage and other content on the Fox Local app, plus on YouTube and TikTok. And do you have a question about the Judge Dugan trial? Go ahead
Been
and
to the
scan this
Brat
QR
stop
code
too
right there
often.
on your screen or head to fox6now.com, and we will do our very best to answer your questions during our coverage of the trial.
Okay. Well, we got this also out of Wisconsin. I thought I would bring it up. It says the Wisconsin prosecution of the 2020 fake elector scheme, the alternate electors scheme, moves ahead as other states falter. So a Wisconsin judge ruled on Monday that there's enough evidence to proceed to trial in a felony forgery case against an attorney and an aide to President Trump for their role in the 2020 alternate electors scheme. Dane County Judge John Hyland ruled that there was probable cause to proceed with the 11 felony forgery charges against Jim Trupis, who was Trump's campaign attorney in Wisconsin, and Mike Roman, Trump's director of Election Day operations in 2020. The preliminary hearing of a third-person charge, former Trump attorney Ken Cheeseborough, was postponed amid questions about what statements the man made to prosecutors that could be admitted in court. 5 years after the 2020 election, state-led cases against individuals involving the alternate electors they weren't plans to overturn the election. It was plans to give alternate electors so that the House could decide which electors to choose. Just this fall, a judge in Michigan dismissed the cases against 15 people. A Georgia prosecutor who took over the state's case after the district attorney was removed dropped the charges. But unlike Michigan and Georgia, Wisconsin's criminal case has not faced such legal stumbles. A preliminary hearing in the criminal case against Trump campaign attorneys Kenneth Cheeseborough and Jim Trupis and former campaign aide Michael Roman was held Monday in Dane County Circuit Court. Legal experts say Wisconsin case at this point differs from the Michigan and Georgia's in key ways. There has been no major scandal so far, and no changes have been made to people overseeing the case, and Wisconsin's prosecution has a narrower focus than those in other states. A constitutional election law professor at the University of Georgia Law School says the prosecution isn't of the electors, it's of the actual people, the very high-level Trump campaign people, attorneys who are accused of facilitating the entire scheme. MTG got engaged to Brian Glenn, chief White House reporter. Oh, I was wondering why I can't be following your comments. Oh, you're talking about I've been imbibing. Oh, you're talking about this guy. He's been imbibing. Hey, what's up? We've site local. We WEV site low kilo. I don't know. How you doing? Gotcha. Yes. Meaning they aren't willing to stop trying to prosecute anyone associated with Trump. Exactly. Democrat Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Cowell in June charged Cheeseborough, Trupis, and Roman with 11 felonies for generating documents that falsely claim Trump won Wisconsin. The three men allegedly originated the alternate elector plan that spread to other states. Wisconsin's focus on Cheeseborough, Trupis, and Roman could be a stronger case than if the state focused on the slate of electors. That's because it's hard to prove intent in the case targeting just electors. In the Michigan case, the Associated Press reported the judge said the state failed to prove the electors had intended to commit fraud. The majority of the Wisconsin false electors said they did not believe their signatures certifying a Trump election in the state would be sent to Washington. Against the electors themselves, I don't think it's going to be difficult to prove. Against the electors themselves, I think it was going to be difficult to prove they were intending to do something false or fraudulent as opposed to just creating backup slates. That evidence may look different with these people who are very high-level organizers. Try to collate slates in order to perpetuate this narrative or to create challenges on the confusion on the House floor. See, it was different when the Democrats did it in 2016 and in 2001, 2000 election was different then, right? And in 62 or 1960. The case in Georgia has included Trump as a defendant was marred by scandal. Fannie Willis was ultimately disqualified after it surfaced that she was having a romantic relationship with a member of her team and they were taking long vacations and trips paid for by the state. While Wisconsin's case hasn't faced these obstacles, some could surface in the future. The organization filed a civil case against the state's false elector, which was settled in 2023. Yeah, it's always different when the Dems do it. Jim's chair just clamps onto his head all of a sudden. What's that mean? Mandel pointed out that it's already taken the state a year and a half to just reach a preliminary hearing. The defendants this year have sought multiple times to dismiss the charges. Troupis, a former Dane County judge, last week requested all Dane County judges be prohibited from overseeing the case to avoid the appearance of bias or impropriety. Additionally, the Associated Press reported Friday that Wisconsin U.S. Senator Ron Johnson asked the Department of Justice to investigate allegations from Troupis that the judge overseeing his case is guilty of misconduct. More efforts to delay or throw sand in the gears could show up in the Wisconsin case advances. It wouldn't surprise me in the least if one of the things defendants have in mind is to try to make sure they don't go to trial until after the 2026 election. Maybe they think there's going to be a new attorney general who'll drop the charge. Kyle is seeking re-election as attorney general next year. Fond du Lac County District Attorney Eric Toney, a Republican who ran against Kyle in 2022, announced in October he plans to challenge him in 2026. Yeah, Wisconsin's going to be held by Democrats until they stop them from stealing all the votes from the old folks' homes. Because they have a whole thing where they go to all the retirement homes and they just gather up all the ballots and vote them the way they want. Just read one former assessment of the Brown University clusterfuck, and the shooter could evade capture. It's looking like maybe. Trump in November pardoned those involved in the efforts to correct the fraud in 2020, including the 3 from Wisconsin. But that action only protects those from federal prosecutions. Wisconsin judge rules Trump aides must face trial in 2020 alternate elector scheme. We got this story about Jasmine Slavy Crockett. Hey, we've been going 2.5 hours now, so we're in overtime. Just letting you know, we're in a free 30-minute overtime to see if we hit the goal and add an extra hour. We are $50 away. Just letting everybody know. Cash App, PayPal, Rumble Rants, YouTube Super Chats, gifted memberships, coffee, Ko-Fi. Jasmine Crockett's Texas Senate bid sends Democrats into a tailspin. She might win a primary, but she ain't winning a general in Texas. I'm Slavy Crockett. Awesome. Send me a Christmas card, Terry. Gundam, that's right. The dude's still on the loose, isn't he? Thought they had him in a restaurant or something. No, they had a guy, but it wasn't the right guy. They probably don't care to find him. I heard those shot were studying for finals. Then the truth came out it was the young Republicans that were in the room, and the professor was a Jew. Yeah. Shoveling and working. That's great. Over the last couple of months, so rumors swirled that Rep. Jasmine Slavy Crockett was mulling a Senate run, and later, when she confirmed she was considering it, the laughter could barely be contained. After all, Democrats in the Blue Texas movement have been fantasizing for years about turning the Lone Star State blue, especially after the inroads they believed that then Rep. Beto O'Rourke had made into his failed 2018 campaign against Ted Cruz. Yeah, Jasmine be boofo. She be smart, too. Funny how they changed her hairstyle to look more professional instead of a pile of poo on her head. Was it a Crockett Senate run, which she made official earlier this week after the former Rep. Colin Alra dropped out of the race, something Democrats wanted to happen amid what they're viewing as a momentum shift in their direction going into 2026? As it turns out, many of them don't. With at least 6 House Democrats telling Axios they fear the potential impact of her candidacy, she could win the primary, but on down-ballot races, Crockett has left some of her fellow House Democrats infuriated after launching a bid for a U.S. Texas Senate seat. Why it matters, many in the party fear anti-Trump firebrand will alienate swing voters and drag down Democrats in the state if she clinches the nomination, including in several key House races that could decide control of the lower chamber. She might win a primary, but she ain't winning a general in Texas, a senior House Democrat who, like others quoted in the story, spoke on the condition of anonymity to offer candid thoughts about a colleague. It's concerning for swing districts. I think it's a bad decision. There's a lot of concern she won't win. If you have a Paxton in there, particularly, it seems like a good target. said a fourth House Democrat. I hope Texas picks someone that can get us a seat. A fifth Democrat said, even if it's Paxton on a ticket, Crockett doesn't give us a shot at winning the Senate, or at least doesn't put us in the game. 800 plus cameras on campus and a bunch inside and outside the building. Story about what the classroom and what was occurring. Providence PD chief immigrant vowed to not assist ICE. Speculation withholding evidence from the FBI. They were planning on her being the only one on the primary ticket, but there's a new guy that showed up recently. Okay. Story about what was happening in a room keeps changing. Yeah. Before Crockett declared her candidacy, Democrats made it clear they believe there's hope for them in the Senate race, considering a competitive GOP primary that's taking place, which includes incumbent Senator John Cornyn, who Republicans have a love-hate relationship with. I have a hate-hate relationship with John Cornyn. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, who's been a divisive, controversial figure among Republicans in the state, and GOP Rep Wesley Hunt, who recently challenged Crockett to a debate. She going to pull an MTG. Oh, you think she's going to pull an MTG and screw over her party? That would be funny. Some of the Democrats quoted in the Axios piece pointed to a report that suggested the NRSC deliberately propped up Crockett as a candidate as a way to embolden her to run. National Republican Senatorial Committee put out a poll in July with Crockett's name included, which showed her as the leading Democrat in a hypothetical matchup. Following the poll, other surveys began to include Crockett and showed similar results. She was surging in the primary. They then worked to amplify those polls and is taking credit for helping orchestrate a pile on of these polling numbers to really drive that news cycle and the narrative that Crockett was surging in Texas. I can't tell you how many times I've voted against Cornyn. How he wins is beyond me. Gun universities are famous for not helping law enforcement anyway, so them not assisting finding the shooter isn't really surprising. If I were a parent, I'd be filing the suit first thing tomorrow. But Republicans' efforts didn't stop there. In what sources dubbed as an AstroTurf recruitment process, the NRSC had allies that were seeding. What's happening here? These new polls pretty aggressively into progressive digital spaces. What are you doing, Bella? You shaking an ear? You got an earache? Mm-hmm. 35-pound magnet. That's got to be a death sentence for even saying it. When Crockett confirmed in October that she was thinking about running in her official announcement Monday, she cited those polls as evidence she could win the primary. In other words, it sounds like as much thought went into Crockett's decision to run as it did on the campaign slogan she came up with. Someone should tell Jasmine for U.S. that stealing successful campaign slogans isn't her way to help win Texas. Another Democrat rising star, James Tallarico, is also running, which is another reason why the Democrat primary should be interesting to watch from the cheap seats. We will, of course, keep you posted on any notable developments. House Dems voice concern over Jasmine Slavey Crockett's Texas Senate campaign viability. Democrats panic as Crockett torpedoes dreams of flipping Texas. Crockett, Texas tough. Isn't she from Missouri? Pretty sure she's from Missouri. Someone should just go, Crockett, Missouri moron. Not Texas tough. Bella, what's wrong with your ear? What's wrong with your ear, girl? Yeah, we don't claim her. Wesley Hunt versus Ghetto Crockett, number one pay-per-view since Tyson's return. Ever heard of the term trouncing? After long-distance footage of the suspect was released, local journalists geolocated the location where the video was taken and visited the site. Discovered the FBI has not fully processed the crime scene. Wow. I say put Wesley Hunt against Crockett and then put Paxton on SCOTUS because you know Roberts is going to retire and a not-so-wise Latina is going out with diabetes. I don't know if the Brinos in the House and the Senate would approve of Paxton. Journalists were able to enter and contaminate the crime scene, also take photos of the evidence that was in the process of being collected by the FBI. Well, that's retarded. I think you should have a live in state for 5 years before you can vote. California and Illinois have invaded Texas and are going to fuck it all up. Carpetbagger from Missouri. Carpetbagger, I think he means, but whatever. Maybe there's something I don't know about carpetbaggers. Well, I'm so disappointed in our FBI, but not surprised, not at all. Paxton does not have clean hands either. I know Paxton's got some skeletons, per se. Bella does not like hearing about Crockett. Uh-oh. What's wrong, Bella girl? I'll clean your ears as soon as I'm done, okay? No to Paxton here, okay? Crockett decided to run for Senate in Texas on Monday. Things aren't going well. She had an embarrassing launch featuring a joke of a campaign video, and then despite her high profile, a stunning lack of endorsements from Senate Democrats. Wow. Ghetto Crockett is a carpetbagger from Mo, y'all. Not sure if you mentioned it, but Tina Peters' attorney sent a letter to the prison saying they were coming to pick her up due to the pardon. The prison denied the request. If it's Paxton versus Crockett, I'd have to vote for Paxton, though. No to the same old politics. When are people going to learn? Magnetic Tomahawk. Well, she must have something bothering her ear. I'm going to have to take care of it later. So, look at this story. Trinidad and Tobago to open its airports to the U.S. military. Is Crockett still twerking in the house? Yeah. Nero, I'm hearing that the pardon is more for show than legal. Yeah, I think so. Because it was rhinos are afraid of Paxton, or better yet, puts Cruz on SCOTUS dream job, and Paxton fills Cruz seat. Bella is eating good. Yeah, she does. She eats good. Uh-huh. Porto, Spain, Trinidad. The government of Trinidad and Tobago said on Monday, is it Tobago or Tobago? I don't know. Is it like Tobago, Tobago, tomato? And it would allow U.S. military access to its airports in the coming weeks as tension built between the United States and Venezuela. The announcement comes after the U.S. military recently installed a radar system at the airport in Tobago. The Caribbean country's governments has said that the radar is being used to fight local crime, and that the small nation would not be used as a launch pad to attack another country. Yeah, but only when we need to go. Otherwise, she goes without treats. Yes, that's what happens. I think there's a good case to be made that a presidential pardon covers state crimes. It would need a fast track to SCOTUS. I mean, it kind of makes sense because the federal government is the supreme law of the land. So the presidential pardon, if all the state laws are subservient to federal law, I mean, the argument could be made. It would be up to the Supreme Court to make the decision. It's not entirely the FBI's fault when school, local PD, and locals themselves may be tripping up the investigation, withholding evidence. Theory that the camera's not recording to stymie ICE looking for illegal students. Oh my God! So they didn't have the cameras on because they didn't want illegal aliens to be exposed. Wow, that is that's fucked. That's fucked. U.S. would use the airports for activity that would be logistical in nature, facilitating supply replenishment and routine personnel rotations. It did not provide further detail. And Coulter effect. The longer law enforcement doesn't give a description of the subject, more likely the perp goes against their narratives. White supreme, e.g. Yeah. Trinidad's prime minister previously has praised the ongoing U.S. strikes on the drug boats in the Caribbean, I don't know. Only 7 miles separate Venezuela from the twin island Caribbean nation at their closest point. It has 2 main airports, Piarco International Airport in Trinidad, and ANR Robinson International Airport in Tobago. Remember the Casado. Shamil, Shamazel, Haas and Feff Incorporated. We're going to do it. We're going to bomb on Venezuela. Emery Brown, an opposition senator from the country's former foreign minister, accused the government of being deceptive in its announcement. Deceptive. Is it aluminum or aluminium? Is it aluminum or aluminium? Is it good? Brown said Trinidad and Tobago has become complicit facilitators of extrajudicial killings, cross-border tension, and belligerence. There is nothing routine about this. It has nothing to do with the usual cooperation and friendly collaborations that we have enjoyed with the USA and all of our neighbors for decades, he said. I don't know why that keeps happening. Up on the rise, it says, Gundam, this kind of dirty, underhanded subterfuge makes me think it's a boiling point with patriots that blows like the island in your icon. It's not the Fed FBI jurisdiction unless the federal law was broken or can prove state lines crossed. They came in to assist locals. Sounds like idiots or dicks. Yeah. He said the cooperation with the U.S. takes the country a further step down the path of a satellite state, and that it embraces a might is right philosophy. Well, that's the way it's always been. The U.S. strikes began in September and have killed more than 80 people as the U.S. builds up a fleet of warships near Venezuela, including the largest U.S. aircraft carrier. Yes, the largest U.S. aircraft carrier. Yes. In October, a U.S. warship docked in Trinidad's capital as the administration of President Trump's boosts military pressure on neighboring Venezuela and its president, Nicolás Maduro. U.S. lawmakers have questioned the legality of the strikes. Democrats have questioned the legality, and one rhino. Recently announced there would be a congressional review of them. Bella might get relief from a warm washcloth or a heating pad. Yeah, I have some, what's it called? Salicylic acid or whatever? Salicylic acid. It's like a stuff you're supposed to put in there and it'll like let it rinse her out type of thing. And then try to clean it out best I can. Trinidad and Tobago will open Caribbean nations' airports to U.S. military. Same thing. They're going to open their military as the tensions with Venezuela escalate. History of Hispaniola is complex as fuck. Could it be the different religious practices or French-Spanish rule? Hydrogen peroxide, cheap and harmless. Yeah, I used to do that in her ears. But getting the thing to spray it in there, she runs when she sees it. So I have to sneak it up on her. We got this story. It says Supreme Court will hear appeal of black death row inmate over bias in Mississippi jury makeup. So Supreme Court will hear an appeal of a black death row inmate over racial bias in Mississippi jury makeup. Mine isn't a spray; it's a bottle. No, I have. What I'm saying is, I have to put it in a little spray. It's like a little squeeze bottle that I put in that I can squeeze it and it shoots a jet. So to get her in there, so impressive a blast. Supreme Court on Monday agreed to hear the appeal of a black death row inmate. Hey, what's up? Vince is here. Hello, just got here. Better late than never, I guess. Yes, well, show's almost over. Earbulb. Yeah, that's what it is. It's like a thing that you squeeze, and it shoots a jet out. But when she sees it, she knows what it is, and she runs, and I got to chase her. It's quite funny. Maybe I should film it for everyone. Get the human earwax remover at the drugstore. And so it's from a Mississippi whose case was handled by a prosecutor with a history of dismissing black jurors for discriminatory reasons. Federal judge has previously overturned the murder conviction of an inmate, Terry Pitchford, but an appeals court reversed that ruling. The justice stepped into the case involving the same prosecutor, former district attorney Doug Evans, who's at the center of a high court case that resulted in a 2019 decision that overturned the death sentence of a conviction of Curtis Flowers. No, you don't. You really don't want to jam Q-tips into dogs' ears. You'll just push stuff further in there. The case will be argued in spring. U.S. District Judge Michael P. Millis held that the judge who oversaw Pitchford's trial didn't give the man's lawyer enough chance to argue that the prosecution was improperly dismissing black jurors. Oh, Mills wrote that the ruling was partially motivated by Evans' actions in prior cases. Bella has a very satisfying belly pattern. Pitchford was sentenced to death for his role in the 2004 killing of Reuben Britt, the owner of Crossroads Grocery just outside Grenada in northern Mississippi. Yeah, having an all-black jury is bound to be fair. Apply the lotion. Yeah. In Pitchford's case, judges and lawyers whittled down the original jury pool of 61 white and 35 black members to a pool with 36 white and 5 black members, in part because so many black jurors objected to sentencing Pitchford to death. Then prosecutors struck 4 more black juries, leaving only 1 black person on the final jury. The Supreme Court tried to stamp out discrimination in the composition of juries in Batson v. Kentucky. The court ruled that jurors couldn't be excused from service because of their race and set up a system by which trial judges could evaluate claims of discrimination and race-neutral explanations by the prosecutors. I mean, what are they supposed to do if they all say that no, we're against the death penalty? Mark says, I'd love to be judged by a bunch of nerds if I was a nerd. It's not far from it. 2004 case and sentenced to death. Why the hell is his ass still alive 21 years later? That's the thing. It seems like it takes like 30 years in a lot of states to finally get executed. Flowers had tried 6 times in the shooting deaths of 4 people. He was released from prison in 2019, and the state dropped the charges against him the following year after Evans turned the case over to state officials. What? Wait a minute. So the guy accused of killing 4 people got his case dismissed. Why? Why did they gloss over that? That don't make no sense. I want to see what this is. Court tosses black man's murder conviction over racial bias. So are they saying that he didn't do it, or is this a technicality? Yeah, what about the victims? Afternoon of 24th, 1941, she was hit by 3 torps from a U-31 rolled to the ends and boom, 4 minutes to sink, losing 2/3 of crew. You talking about the Indianapolis? No. That's not the Indianapolis 1941. So Supreme Court on Friday threw out the murder conviction and death sentence for a black man in Mississippi because of a prosecutor's efforts to keep African Americans off the jury. So this was a strict technicality. It's not saying this guy didn't do it. It's just because they said he was throwing people off the jury. The defendant had already been tried 6 times and now could face a 7th trial. The removal of black prospective jurors deprived inmate Curtis Flowers of a fair trial, the court said in a 7-2 decision written by Justice Kavanaugh. We'll watch you take care of the dog like a surgeon tomorrow? Maybe. The long record of Flowers' trials dates back more than 20 years, shows that District Attorney Doug Evans' relentless, determined effort to get rid of black jurors, individuals, the goal of an all-white jury. In Flowers' 6th trial, the jury made up of 11 whites and 1 African American. Prosecutors struck 5 black prospective jurors. In the earlier trials, 3 convictions were tossed out, including one where the prosecutor improperly excluded African Americans from the jury. In a second trial, the judge chided Evans for striking a juror based on race. 2 other trials ended where jurors couldn't reach unanimous verdicts. Barham forgot to tag upon sorry. My avatar in chat is different from what you see when pulling up screens. Oh, wow. It is. When I pull it up, it's different. No, it's not. The numbers speak loudly, Kavanaugh said in a summary of his opinion that read to the court, noting that Evans had removed 41 of 42 prospective black jurors over 6 trials. We cannot ignore that history. In dissent, Justice Clarence Thomas called Kavanaugh's opinion manifestly incorrect and wrote that Flowers presented no evidence whatsoever of purposeful race discrimination. Neil Gorsuch joined most of Thomas's opinion. Thomas, the only African American on the court, said the decision may have one redeeming quality. The state is perfectly free to convict Flowers again. I noticed when Jim reads your posts. Let me look and see if it's different in here. It is. You're right. It is a different thing. You got the blowing up of a ship. I see it now. Watch right here. We'll find Gundam's thing. It's different. There he is. Gundam Zig. You see it's a ship blowing up. You see it there? It's different on StreamYard. That's weird. That's weird. That's weird. That's really weird. Huh. How could a guy with the surname Flowers be guilty? Don't we have 2 blacks on the Supreme Court, not just Thomas? Yeah. Flowers has been in jail for 22 years since his arrest after 4 people were found shot to death in a furniture store in Winona, Mississippi in July 1996. Only one trial. If not convicted, that's the end. Common law of nations. Well, did the article say Thomas is the only black member of SCOTUS? What about KBJ? I don't know. It said that, but I don't know. Flowers was arrested several months later, described by a prosecutor as a disgruntled former employee who sought revenge against the store's owner because she fired him and withheld most of his pay to cover the cost of merchandise he damaged. Nearly $300 were found missing after the killings. Defense lawyers have argued that the witness statements and physical evidence against Flowers are too weak to convict him. A jailhouse informant who claimed Flowers had confessed to him recanted in a recorded telephone conversations with America's. A separate appeal is pending in state court questioning Flowers' actual guilt, citing part evidence that reporters for in the dark detailed. A 7th trial would be unprecedented and completely unwarranted given both the flimsiness of the evidence against him and the long trail of misconduct that was keeping him wrongfully incarcerated all these years. We hope the state of Mississippi will finally disavow Judge Evans' misconduct, decline to pursue yet another trial, and set Mr. Flowers free. Sherry Lynn Johnson, who represents Flowers at the Supreme Court, said in an official statement. I did it. No, I was just kidding. It's absurd that they wait so long to actual death sentences. Yeah. Is the queue that long? No, but they have like a whole thing where they get so many appeals, and the appeals take years and stuff. I mean, they drag everything out. They get, oh, we got this appeal. Okay, now we got this appeal for this reason. Now we got this appeal for this reason. So they have all these multiple appeal angles, state appeals and federal appeals. So it takes a long time, generally speaking. We got the interstellar comet keeps its distance as it makes its closest approach to Earth. Oh, yeah, I know. Wow. Ooh, wow, look at that thing. It's bright like a star in the sky. The image provided by NASA shows interstellar comet 3I Atlas captured by the Hubble Space Telescope on November 30th, 2025, about 178 million miles from Earth. A stray comet from another star swings past Earth this week in one last hurrah before racing back towards interstellar space. I thought they said it wasn't going to go back out in interstellar space, that its trajectory changed so much that it was going to get caught by by Jupiter, and it was going to be looping between the sun and Jupiter now. Ed E. Dungarian says, I am ready for the alien reveal, but I doubt we will get one. Discovered over the summer, the comet known as 3I Atlas will pass within 167 million miles of our planet on Friday, the closest it gets on its grand tour of the solar system to the Uranus. So that comet basically twice as far away from us as the sun. Wow. NASA continues to aim its space telescopes at the visiting ice ball, estimated to be 1,444 feet, 400 meters, and 3.5 miles in size. Wow. Wow. UFOs are demons, not aliens. Okay. That's what Tucker Carlson thinks. But it's fading as it exists. So now the time for backyard astronomers to catch it in the night sky with their... So now's the time for our backyard astronomers to catch it in the night sky with their telescopes. They're planning on melting Earth soon. That's what I was thinking they're doing. Demonic aliens. I was thinking of something like that. Something like that. Something like that. And it's gonna be the ball beep bop bop. The comet will come much closer to Jupiter in March, zipping within 33 million miles. It will be the mid-2030s before it reaches interstellar space, never to return, said this guy from NASA. I don't know if that's true, though. Kilo has spoken. Okay. Hello, Tay Logan, 5826. Great to see you. You know it, Snarf. It's the third known interstellar object to cut through our solar system. Interstellar comets like 3I Atlas originate in star systems elsewhere in the Milky Way, while homegrown comets like Halley's hail from icy fringes in our solar system. Will they really know where it comes from? I mean, aren't they guessing it could come from a different solar system altogether? They don't know. A telescope in Hawaii discovered the first confirmed interstellar visitor in 2017. 2 years later, an interstellar comet was spotted by a Crimean amateur astronomer. NASA's Sky Surveying Atlas telescope in Chile spotted Comet 3I Atlas in July while prowling for potentially dangerous asteroids. Scientists believe the latest interloping comet, also harmless, may have originated in a star system much older than ours, making it a tantalizing target. Well, they would have to actually go and do something. They would actually try to do something to it or get some, something. Associated Press receives support from them. So, yeah. Well, everybody, it's been 3 hours. So I gave you all a free extra half hour. We did not hit the Z goal, as they say, Z goal. We did not hit it. So I must say that's going to be all for this evening. We will try again on Tuesday night and see what happens. All right. And if we can get to go on Tuesday night, we'll add some extra time. And it'll all be good in the hood, as they say. I think if you guys know who MG Law is, he's doing a stream right now, a memorial stream for Jeff Legal Vices. So I'm going to send you all over there. Say hello to MG Law. Maybe pay a short respect to Jeff Legal Vices. And, you always hit the goal in our hearts, Jim. Have a good night. Oh, that's great. Tell your Burmer friends to transfer me some of that generational wealth. Then your show can keep going. Well, you got to go. Here's the thing, Kilo. You got to get out there and steal it just like the rest of us did. You got to take it for yourself. Get out there and sling some rocks. Get on the street corner and be saying, rocks and blows, rocks and blows. Make you some of them ducats. Thanks for always bouncing us somewhere. I always try. Good night, everybody. Come on back tomorrow for Jim to tell you some news.